everywhere. If it ain't about no money, Ratchet just don't care. I'm the tall, slim, fly guy. Ladies call me Papa. Better get your girl, cause she probably on my roster.
Ratchet, can you please stop smoking la la?
J.Y. Trot, I'm a thug, I'm a die high. I be out in Jersey, pumping Kirby. Yeah, I know you heard me, the girls never curve me. Girls wanna cuff me when I'm in the club, G. No, I know they mans be wanting to slug me. Is it cause I move as smooth as clutch streets? Or be at the bar with too much bubbly? Yo, I think it must be the girls wanna fuck me. Or it's just simply the girls just love me. Brothers wanna fuck my hoes, rock my clothes, live my life, pull out scraps in my life. I'm like, damn, how them haters get so pissed? Used to be my dog, how he gon' plot on my chick? Do you think he snaked me cause he hate me? Or he got his CBD, cotton blocking degree? Quit that. You know your shit whack. Where your chicks at? Where your whips at? Whatever you been, dog, I done been there. Whatever you did, dog, I done did that. Don't knock me cause you're boring. With me, she awake, with you, she snoring. Simply, a lot of men be wanting to end me cause their words just don't offend me. I spent cheese, yeah, about a 10-piece, then come home to plenty, spoiled Frenchies. You name it, I could claim it. Young, black, and famous, with money like I came from Cambridge. And when you need a hit, who you go and get? Bet against us?
I'm not a sure bet.
We make hits that'll rearrange your whole set. I got bitches that I ain't even fucked yet. Alright, man, get the lights up. Let's go, gang. Y'all ready? Got a lot to talk about tonight, man. Let's go.
That's right.
Let's go. I know it's not fair, the way I got this group of chicks coming over here. The picture's so vivid and I see it so clear. Said she never touched a girl, but I got her so near. She said she not single, her man is a bum. Probably at home on the game smoking some. He let her out the house half naked, yeah, he dumb. With me you get the whole loaf of bread, he a crumb. Let me tell you something, she said that boy broke. She asked me if I'm like these other dudes, that's a joke. She turned her phone off, she gon' tell him that it broke. I asked her if she gotta go home, she like no. So you know what I'm doing when I'm riding with your main chick. I turned her to a groupie, I'm feeling like the man, you the way I gotta choose it. Soon as we get home, we gon' turn them lights on and we gon' make a movie. Yeah, we gon' make a movie. Soon as we get home, we gon' turn them lights on and we gon' make a flick. Now I got her coming from the tongue and the dick. I got her wide open on the cam taking pics. She said that a man never seen her like this. So you know, I don't even gotta move, cause this Patron put her right in the mood. So you know her friend got invited over too. Needed something on their stomach, so I went and got them food. Now that that's done, I had to get them back. Riding in the whip with that thing on my lap. Dude get the tripping and he getting his ass clapped. But you know, I ain't come for all that, so I got her back. She made it home safe. Told her hit me up next time you wanna play. But it wasn't long, cause I don't gotta wait. Cause this chick hit me up the very next day. So you know what I'm doing when I'm riding with your main chick. I turned her to a groupie, I'm feeling like the man, you the way I gotta choose it. Soon as we get home, we gon' turn them lights on and we gon' make a movie. Yeah, we gon' make a movie. Soon as we get home, we gon' turn them lights on and we gon' make a. Soon as we get home, we gon' turn them lights on and we gon' make a. Get the lights up, y'all. Get the lights up. Let's go. We're gonna make a movie in this motherfucker. Let's go. Hey, know I'm tone bite. We back, Ratchet Gang. We back with another one. We back with another banger. Let's get the likes up. Look, you might have forgot. Hell, They might have forgot. But you already know it's the king. Too loyal, know I'm talking about Ratchet TV. Hey, y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. Get the likes up if you in the building. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you can get the drop whenever I drop. Alright, so boom. Man. We gotta talk, Ratchet Gang. We gotta chop it up. Look, tonight, we gotta get back into this Foolio case. If you've been watching this case all day, y'all seen me in the comment section. I seen a bunch of my Ratchet Gang out there hanging out with me today. Salute to the gang. I seen a lot of y'all in the building. Leash, Sin, fuck, I can't remember. I'd start lying if I start naming. It was a bunch of y'all though. Salute to everybody. Jelly Bean, I seen you out there. Salute to everybody who I did see, man. Salute to all the moderators in the building. Salute to the green team. Salute to Ratchet Gang. Salute to everybody subscribed to the channel, man. Salute to everybody tonight. We back on this Foolio case, and we already got people scrambling and scraping. Kesey, we've been on this case for no more than 24 hours, and you've already been exposed again. It don't even take long for us to expose Kesey every time. Kesey just always seems to find his way right in harm's way. I've been told y'all, they're going to use Kesey to get rid of everybody. Allegedly. And everything I say is alleged, and it's all under the Fair Use Act. And you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video and in the description of all my videos. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is just to educate my people on what we've been covering over here. Like I said, it's all under the Fair Use Act, and you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video. And everything I say is alleged. Allegedly. Hold on. All right, that's a little better. All right, so yeah, is my audio good, y'all? We good? Y'all can hear me? We crispy? Let me know if we crispy. So there's a lot of shit been going on in this Foolio case, and we all know Alicia is about to find herself in the penitentiary for the rest of her life. We already know that. It ain't really hard to tell, but there are a few loopholes. Her lawyers just suck, though. Let's just call it what it is. Alicia Andrews has a horrible legal team. Like, her defense team is bad. I'm talking about bad. The judge hates them, it seems like. And a lot of people have been saying this judge is biased. I don't think the judge is biased at all. I think the judge equally just gives smoke to whoever. And I feel like the judge feels like both sides are unprepared. That's just the vibe I've been getting. It seems like the judge is calling it all the way down the middle, but at the same time, I think she just thinks both of y'all are very underprepared for this trial. Really, y'all pushed for a speedy trial that y'all are clearly not ready for. It's like, y'all got me here. We did a speedy trial. We're here now, and it seems like almost the defense is helping the state prove its case. I could be just tripping. It could just be me, but that's the vibe I get. Salute to Reese Cup for the $20. Says salute to the best gang on YouTube. Get them likes up. Salute to Reese Cup for the $20. I appreciate you. Salute to Demetrius Chapman. Says come with them gems and smash them likes, gang. Yeah, y'all double tap the screen for Demetrius and Reese Cup. Thank you for the $20. We got 40 on the screen. $40. Salute to y'all. Demetrius Chapman just gifted a membership. Salute to you for that as well. So maybe I'm just tripping, but it seems to me like the defense is kind of like giving the state the alley-oop. It's like, bro, what is y'all doing? Y'all are bringing witnesses here that I never would have called to the stand. Why is Mama on the stand? Mama didn't do nothing but get up there and lie. Double tap the screen, y'all. We gonna talk about all this shit. Salute to Binky. I think it was Binky for the 5. I seen it out the corner of my eye. Yep, it was Binky. Salute, Binky. I appreciate the 5. Salute. So, did anybody see that Mama get up on the stand and lie? I'm talking about, she talking about her son got the code to the safe. He had the guns. She started naming all these weapons she had, and this little boy had access to every last one of them weapons. It's like, what the fuck? So, he just had your damn guns. He has a safe in his room filled with guns. What the fuck is you talking about? And then she just kept getting, I'm talking about repeatedly just getting up there lying over and over, trying to save her. I get it. I get it. Let me get this off. I hate when they do this shit. Get this off my screen, man. All right, there you go. Thank you, Jack, for the $10. I appreciate you. Salute, salute, salute. Raise your hand in the building. Well, drop the gems. If you already heard the testimony today, drop the gems. If you don't know what's going on and you need to be caught up to speed, drop the eyeballs in the chat. Who's already caught up to speed on this trial? If you was watching it today, drop the gems. If you missed it, drop the eyeballs. Let me know in the chat. Let's see. Let me see how I got to cover this shit tonight. Drop the gems if you've already seen the trial today. Drop the eyeballs if you did not see the trial today. Because it was spicy again. And then the judge went slapped the fuck off on the defense team. I'm talking about, boy, she went in on their ass. She went straight in on the whole defense, and she straight up just told that girl, "Look, I'm sick of that look on your face." Basically, so you've been making these little smirks all of it's documented too. Oh, girl said, "What, me? I haven't made any." She said, "You need to stop talking. When I didn't ask you to speak, you just need to stop talking right now." She's like, "Well, I didn't know I needed permission." It's like, how does these people not know how a courtroom goes? The judge rules everything. When the judge walk in the room, you stand up. When the judge is speaking, you don't talk. When the judge asks you a question, you answer. Period, point blank. Whatever the judge says goes. If she tell you to shut up, shut up. The judge will straight tell you, stop talking in my courtroom. You're supposed to say, before you approach, may I approach, Your Honor? How do I know all this shit? And you're a lawyer and you don't know that you're not supposed to talk when the judge is talking. If the judge asks you a question, you answer it. I didn't know I needed permission. What law school did you go to, dumbass? Y'all are literally fucking up this whole case. And when she sentenced this girl, she gonna sentence her to the max based on y'all. Y'all up there playing with this damn judge. Y'all think shit sweet. Whenever she get found guilty, that girl getting life. Mark my words. But needless to say, there's a lot more that's coming out in this trial. Even today, they even said, so this is, it was kind of weird that they brought Young and Ace up again. There's like, so with Young and Ace, did you go through his iCloud? It's like, you seem to be so pressed on him being involved in this. So did you go through Young and Ace's iCloud? The dude just got real quiet. He's like, huh? Like, did you go through Young and Ace's iCloud? You went through theirs. So just tell me. We want to know. Did you go through Young and Ace? He's like, man, look, I didn't go through anything. That was not a part of my investigation. So I'm reading between it. He knows for a fact they went through Young and Ace's shit already. They gotta. He's not trying to blow their next case. They're trying to get through these set of events, and once they prosecute all these people, then they're going to go in for Young and Ace. But they have to do this perfectly. If they fuck up here, they don't get Young and Ace. The only way to get Young and Ace is to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that all of these people work together under y'all watch, which is J. Breezy and Young and Ace. And all the affiliates underneath. That's what they're trying to prove right now. That's why they're bringing up Kesey in trial. Oh, so Alicia Andrews, do you got the documentation on her talking to Kesey? Do you got the text message thread between those two after the fact? Yes. Okay. So she was talking to Kesey, right? They're saying this in court. Kesey act like I'm lying. Kesey, one thing I don't do is get up on this motherfucking lie. Matter of fact, let's start the show off with that, man. Since I'm such a liar, Kesey. See, this is why I always get on your ass, nigga. No Diddy. Hold on, Kesey. Because what I don't do is be up here lying, dog. Where's this shit at? Here we go, right here. All right, so check this out, Kesey. You to my screen recorded for me. Yeah, I got you. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it, brother. I got you, Kesey. You want me to screen record it for you? And I'll post the text messages on the side that you sent me saying free her and she's innocent. Yeah, I got everything, Kesey. So listen to this, Kesey. Hold on.
From Ms. Andrews' device, or at least portion of those, are you able to also make a connection that Biddy is mentioned on that device?
Yes, ma'am.
How about ATK Keys? That's a member of a gang that's different from 1200. Was ATK Keys referenced in that device?
Yes, ma'am.
Was ATK Keys, she's saying Keys, but they're talking about Kesey. Was he referenced in that device, she asked? He said yes.
Whose device? Was there evidence in Ms. Andrews' phone of her communication?
Then they say, whose device? She said, Miss Andrews. via communication
with ATK keys and
with ATK keys,
direct messaging and Instagram. Yes, ma'am.
text messages and Instagram. And he said, yes, ma'am. So they have ATK Kesey talking to Alicia Andrews via text message and via Instagram after they unalive Foolio. Why the hell would she be reaching out to ATK Kesey? Why would her and him be texting on the phone? Why would her and him be sending Instagram messages back and forth with each other? Why is he telling me he wants her free? Come on, man. This shit is easy as hell. Yeah, Kesey is going to jail. I've been telling y'all that ATK Kesey is going to jail. Period, point blank. That boy going to jail. If they don't unalive him first. They building a RICO up on them boys right now.
Was there screenshots of those communications between this defendant and ATK keys in that device? Yes, ma'am. Of the cell phone interaction from the Andrews device, or at least a portion of those, are you able to also make a connection that Biddy is mentioned in that device? Yes, ma'am. How about ATK keys? As a member of a gang that's different from 1200, was ATK keys referenced in that device? Yes, ma'am. Whose device? Was there evidence in Miss Andrews' phone of her communications with ATK keys and direct messaging and Instagram? Yes, ma'am.
Direct messaging and Instagram, ATK Kesey and Alicia Andrews. But I thought I lied and made all that up. I thought Kesey didn't have nothing to do with this case. Remember, everybody said I lied about that. Ratchet, all you did was lie. You said Kesey was involved. You said Kesey did this. You said Kesey did that. Well, why the hell was one of the girls who was in that car, what was old girl name, his cousin? His cousin was in the car right behind Foolio, and she got shot. He tried to deny that was his cousin. I went and showed y'all that's his cousin. And I told y'all he's connected in with Alicia. They always talking to him. He helped set that play up. Now it's starting to all come out in court. Kesey was definitely involved. But I thought Kesey was innocent and his name wasn't going to come up in none of these trials. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of this shit. Kesey, this is just the beginning. What's going to happen to you in the end, I've been told you and I've been warned you about. You, Tay Shots, Sosa, Ace, all y'all finna get wrapped up in a fucking RICO.
Was there screenshots of those communications between this defendant and ATK keys in that device? Yes, ma'am.
There were screenshots in that device of ATK Kesey and Alicia Andrews. Kesey, you going to jail, bro. You might as well get ready for bed because you're going to jail. TT voice. So let me ask y'all something. Now that we hear, what do y'all think about the hotel employee TT listening to the trial? Do you think she has credibility or do you think she was capping? What do y'all think? Listening, like knowing what we know now, what do you think about TT now? Do you think TT was real or was she fake? Let me know in the chat. If you was around, you know I'm the one who interviewed that hotel employee. So what y'all think about TT now that we hear at trial and y'all starting to hear the facts come out? Is TT credible or is she? They said TT is real. They say fake. Let's see. What do y'all think? Let me know in the chat. Is TT real or fake? I see real. I see fake. I see real. Still think it's cap. Real. Fake. It looks like the room is split. TT is Foolio's mom, they say. Ooh, I've heard a lot of people say that too. TT is Foolio's mom. So let's get to these receipts because I'm gonna show y'all tonight exactly how they finna wrap these boys up in a RICO, and they keep on saying what's his name. They keep on saying Young and Ace's name in this damn trial over, and I'm talking about they keep saying Young and Ace's name in this trial. So I want y'all to pay attention to this shit. It's getting real weird between this lady right here. The judge does not like her. I'm talking about the judge can't stand this damn lady. Alicia Andrews is giving one of her lawyers a note, and they are seen laughing during her trial of Julio. Now, I don't think that this was a good idea. Now, watch this shit, y'all. Look at these two. Alicia think this shit is a game. Look, they laugh. What the fuck is so funny? Are y'all cracking jokes and laughing, passing notes during trial? It's cool to pass a note to your damn lawyer, but what the fuck is y'all doing? Look at this shit. You can't make this up. She been laughing the whole trial. She just been sitting there thinking all this shit funny the whole trial. Repeatedly just laughing. She think everything a damn joke. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all something about this girl right here. She has a chance to beat this case. Not only does it look very bad for her, but they also the evidence that they have against her, it ain't just rock solid. What do y'all think in the chat? Do y'all think that they have her beyond a reasonable doubt? If you was on the jury, could you convict her beyond a reasonable doubt? If you was on the jury, what would your vote be right now? Innocent or guilty, based on what you know as a fact? Not take your feelings out of it. Innocent or guilty right now? What would the verdict be for you right now if you had to? I see not guilty. I see guilty, 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 guilty. I see guilty. I think guilty, guilty. A lot of people are saying guilty. So I did not do that on the poll. I asked y'all in the poll, I said, what will the verdict be tomorrow? 86% of the room says guilty. 8% say hung jury. 6% say not guilty. Now, even though we know she did all this shit, there's still a few people in the room who feel like, nah, bro, I ain't seen it yet. And there are people that I've had some arguments with. People are like, bro, I don't see it. I don't think she did anything. They can't prove she did anything. Whenever they can't say that she was a part of any plan. She never talked. They got her on like technicalities, but she stays solid. And somebody on that jury might just feel like she's not guilty tomorrow, y'all. I'm just preparing y'all for I think she's guilty. This is just my verdict. I think she's guilty. I think she gets life. But I can understand from a legal standpoint, being that I cover cases and I've been to court and I know how shit goes. So based on that, I can say she does have a fighting chance. Nobody flipped on her. She didn't flip on nobody. Nobody knows nothing. Everybody is finna act like, and the evidence that they have is like, yes, I see the picture you're painting, but when Foolio's getting shot, you can't prove anybody. Now, I'm just being real right now. When Foolio's getting shot, yeah, basically you can say they was right there in the vicinity, but you can't prove they was on this premises. You can't prove it. You can't. It looks as if, but you can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So that's why they're even saying that's why whenever they pulled her in for that interrogation, they're like, they got a chance to beat this, but you're fucked. They all got a chance to walk. You're going to be the one that goes down because we got your phone pinging everywhere. But you can't prove that she was on the crime scene. You can't prove that she was out there. So it gets real tricky at that point. You can't prove that she was ever out there, but yet you think you can. We know she was, but they can't prove it. So with that being said, let's get into today's proceedings because it was a spicy day. I'm going to be real with y'all. It got real spicy today. Let's get to it. Hold on, my bad. Let's go.
Y'all, I'm heading home. And I just finished listening to Sean's mama testimony. I'm still wondering, why the hell did this defense put that lady on the stand? That lady should have been saved for Sean's trial. The only thing she said was, I don't know, Alicia, baby, the state ate that lady up. Do you have any reason to lie for Alicia Andrews? That's what the defense asked her. Probably not, but Alicia Andrews is connected to her son, and she sat up there and lied her ass out for her son. Let me tell you, the prosecutor, I think that was the redhead prosecutor. I like her. She does not play, but her and Sean's mama was tit for tat the entire time she was questioning her. The fact that Sean's mama said she has no knowledge of her son being associated with a gang or touching her weapons, and they showed at least 10 pictures of that boy throwing up gang signs and having her weapons. What?
Yeah, she tried to lie and say, I don't know that he be having my weapons, but then they started reading text messages off, and they're like, okay, so read this text message. And she's asking him, what's the code to the safe? And he giving her the code to the safe. He had a safe in his room. He had pictures with all her guns, the same guns they confiscated, and that's the ones he was posting pictures in. They took her ARs. He was posting with them ARs. She was giving that boy access to all her guns. And then trying to lie like, I didn't know. They're like, they was finna hit her with perjury. They basically told her, look, ma'am, come on now. You do know what perjury is. She started getting her act together. But I didn't know. No, girl, you're lying. Everybody know you was up on that goddamn stand lying. I didn't know that he had access to none of my. Okay, man, read this message right here. What's the code to the safe? Oh, you can hold on to the guns. Just be safe. You can hold on to them. Just be safe. I thought you didn't have no knowledge of him having your weapons, but you're telling him just to hold on to him and just be safe. The lady is a pathological fucking liar. I'm being real. That lady is a fucking liar. Man.
The defense thinking, what did they think was going to happen when she got on the stand? She did not come off as a credible witness. I don't see how Sean's mother helped the defense at all. If nothing else, she proved that her weapons were the weapons used in this ambush. At first she said she didn't know Alicia. Then she said, I think I saw Alicia at a barbecue before. So which is it? Do you know her or don't you know her? Then Zay used to talk to her daughter, which is probably why Alicia wasn't over at the house a lot. I dare I say Sean's mom was worse than the grandmother. But Sean's support system is strong because they're willing to go to jail for him. They are willing to get on that stand and lie for that boy. I don't know, y'all. I don't know why. I don't know what the defense was thinking. I don't even know about this case anymore. It's just too many characters. It's crazy as hell.
Yeah, it's some Jacksonville shit going on. They are getting up on that stand and literally just lying for that boy. They going to war for this boy. Everybody is lying for, and to me, I don't think he got a way out. But I've seen crazier things.
All right, so day 7 in this first part of the Julio Foolio saga. It was a hot mess, wasn't it? Let's talk about it. So first up, we have had the long-awaited cross-examination of Detective Juan Ramos. And not for any bad purposes, just because he was such a large part of the defense's opening that we had to see what they were talking about. So, they start off confirming a few things. One, that there is no evidence whatsoever that at the time that she made that message, it kept saying inquired about the Airbnb, but remember that was the message that went from her Instagram account to whoever this person is, they get half off. So the defense gets Juan Ramos to admit that there was no evidence anywhere, any way, shape, or form that says at that point when she inquired about that Airbnb that she was aware of any plot. There's no confession note. There's no incriminating message about a plot. Now, Detective Juan Ramos says, in detail, no. So McClyman says, okay, undetailed, less detailed. Which one? What you got? So he points out in those messages 4 years ago when she was in high school that she had wished that Foolio would croak. But Detective Ramos did admit that in between that message and up until what happened on June 23rd of 2024 of him actually being taken out of here, there was no indication that she knew that he would pass away on June 23rd.
So with that being said, like I said, y'all, it gets tricky at this point. With Alicia, they just feel like she knew about it, but they can't prove that. And I'm just being serious. When it comes to this case, I think Alicia does have a chance, bro. The more I've seen what they got, I want to say she's guilty. I know she's guilty and I know she knew, but there's nothing that y'all can do to prove that she knew about this or was aware that it was going to happen. Or that she witnessed it. You can't prove nothing. That's the facts of the case. Like, we know that she knew. We feel like we know that she knew. We feel like she was a part of the plot. And we feel like she's just shutting up to save them. But she's doing a fucking good job. A lot of people are writing that girl off. When I'm looking at it like, this girl she's playing a fucking good game of chess right now. She holds all the cards. If they can't convict her, they probably can't convict them. And I'm just being serious about it. And if they don't convict them, they're not getting ATK. In order for them to get ATK, they have to start here. They have to prove, I mean, it's up in the air. The jury is either going to feel like she did it or she didn't. I think everybody knows she did it, and they just going to go off gut instincts. But if they're going off of what you can prove, I don't think that they've proved it yet. But let's continue.
So then as he's kind of feeling himself and simmering a little bit, getting a little heat up under him, getting a little wind beneath his wings with the you have no way of showing, you have no evidence of, he tries it again. And he says, you have no way of knowing or any evidence that she would know that he would get unalived on that day. But Detective Ramos says, yes. He says, you do? Detective Ramos then caught onto his game and said, listen, if you look at the totality of the case, you can infer there's no singular piece of evidence, but when you put it all together, when you put all the pieces together, you get a picture. Not just one puzzle piece will say it, but if you put all the pieces together. And Detective Ramos has said what a lot of people have been saying, and I kind of said in a Jenny from a Block way, but I don't know for sure. And Ramos said that the evidence shows that she knew over time. In my opinion, I say at some point. But he does say what we all have to admit, that she may not have definitively knew, but so he points out that a confession would point to her state of mind, but the evidence shows that at some point she knew and she was there. Yeah, Ramos ain't going for the what piece of evidence no more. Now they get to motive. And I know y'all gonna try to eat me up in the comments. Oh, there doesn't have to be a motive. Motive doesn't have to be proven. I know that in the court of law. I'm telling y'all what the damn man said. The defense attorney said that Alicia had no motive for this. And other than her connection to or perceived loyalty to Isaiah Chan, there was nothing. Ramos said no. She wished that man would go. So then he was asked, did you read the message? He said yes. He said, does it say that she wished it? At this point, Detective Ramos starts to kind of question himself. And he said, well, now, wait a minute. I can't remember specifics. But she said something like that. So then they followed up by confirming, well, did she say she wanted to do it? Ramos says no. Now, it's at this point, I do apologize. Trigger warning. I know victim blaming can be a big thing for some people. So just a heads up, we're still talking about this cross-examination for Alicia. And this is where the defense brings up Charles Jones, saying that, hey, he had a lot of enemies. He talked about people. He danced on people's final resting places. He mocked the deceased. It's at this point that Ramos is choosing not to play that game with him and says that he's going to own, he doesn't know how other people felt, despite the fact that some of his songs where he may have danced on people's final resting places or mocked people who are no longer here. He said he don't have nothing to do with the millions of people that may have seen that or how those millions of people may feel about Charles Jones. The only thing he's going to speak to is how the 5 people that he had charged, how they felt about Charles Jones. Now, at this point, the defense backs him up and says, oh, hell no. You ain't getting ready to pull that only these 5 shit. You've been talking about gangs for the last 2 days. So what about them? Let's talk about them then. Because there was a lot of them out there, groups and otherwise, that did not care for Charles Jones. And Ramos says there was a beef going on. There were rival places. There were people who did not get along. But as far as speaking on intentions and what people had for Charles Jones, he could only speak on the 5 that he charged. At that point, he kind of backs off of Charles Jones and goes to the Murphys, which are the cousins who are co-defendants in this, Rashad Murphy and Davion Murphy. So he points out again what we have.
So let me tell y'all something. Did y'all see Kenny Caps on the damn stand today? Kenny Caps, I believe, set Foolio up. I think Kenny Caps and Mizzle. I think that Fat Boy now probably ain't Omerta. Maybe it's, I don't know. It's one of the two. Either way, I feel like everybody knew that was with Foolio, except for Foolio. Because they sent the girls in, they couldn't prove none of them girls ever knew Foolio before that day. They sent all them girls over there from ATK. They was like, all you got to do is pretend like you want to let them dudes hit and they going to let you in. And boom, all them girls got in, but they was from ATK. And Kenny Caps got on the stand today, and Kenny Caps said that he was talking to all them niggas. They was like, so you was in contact with Rashad? He was like, yes. Like, what the conversation was about? It was a friendly conversation. And then the last time they talked to him, it was after Foolio died. He said, Rashad hit him up and said, I forgive you. And I'm guessing that he's saying, I forgive you because you took out Spaz and boom, we took out Foolio. So I forgive you. But it sounded like he hit you up to say, I forgive you because you helped set that play up. So now, all right, you good. Now we even. You need to give me Foolio, and I'll let you make it. And he gave up Foolio. That's just my opinion. Let's go. But he got on that stand and he said some shit that made me feel like he was not Foolio homeboy. I'm starting to look at everybody like, bro, I think all y'all set Foolio up. It was some weird shit going on. Y'all, if you ain't hear his testimony, it was not good to me. I was like, damn, nigga, you don't sound like you was Foolio homeboy. You was talking to all these niggas. Every one of them, you was cool with everybody who just ambushed this dude. They all was talking to you. Crazy work.
To learn that the Murphys are related to Spaz or Gerard Adams. And convicted of unaliving Spaz is Robert Howard. And he confirmed that the Murphys felt a way about Robert Howard, aka Kenny K, aka Kenny Caps, who was also on the flyer with Julio and was in the backseat of Julio's girlfriend's car when this happened. Now he confirms that Robert Howard and Charles Jones were friends. They were together the night he was unalive. And as we stated before, Robert was on one of the flyers. And at some point, they were in the same vehicle. And we find out that at some point meant when they rode down from Jacksonville to Tampa. So at the point where everybody keeps asking, why did he jump out the car? He was never in the car. Robert Howard was never in the car with Charles Jones at any of the clubs. Robert Howard was only in the car with Charles Jones and Gino Norris on the way from Jacksonville to Tampa.
That's real convenient. You talking to him, but you made sure you wasn't in that car. That's just real convenient. Everybody keep you like, no, I'm gonna be over here, bro, just in case, something happened with the girls. Nah, nigga, bitch ass nigga. Rat, you already knew. Snitching ass, you already knew. You set that man up. Oh no, man, don't even worry about it, bro. I'm gonna be right here with the girls, man. I got the strap, brother. They can't protect themselves, so if something happened, y'all good over there. I got them. No, they finna ambush Foolio. That's why.
Now they also put out there and confirmed that Sean Gathright was never monitored as a gangman, but Isaiah Chance was. And basically Ramos said he got information from JSO or the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office that said that while Gathright might not have been documented or even monitored as a gang member, him and Isaiah Chance do a lot of shit together.
Man. So the plot thickens. The plot just gets thicker and thicker, gang. Let's go.
So they start to move into the subject of Isaiah Chance. Now they point out that his friend Tilly was one of his besties, and he was very close to 23, which was one of the people who passed away in the infamous town center unaliving, in which 3 passed and Young and Ace was the only one that survived. And they point out that there are multiple others on the other side that he has lost. Now, when he says the other side, Detective Ramos said, what side? He said these two groups warring back and forth. That is what y'all been talking about, right? So then he goes ahead and gets to Alicia and Chan. And he points out that Alicia Andrews, there's no evidence of her hanging with any other member except for Chance, Isaiah Chance. He said, nope, that's not right. He said, well, who else she been with? He said, Gathright. He said, but wait a minute. You said that Gathright wasn't monitored or documented as a member. So he pulls out another Florida statute on us, and he said that Florida has a statute about being a group associate. Now, this is not anything where they document you, but Gathright's history over the last 4 years gives him enough ties to be tied to a group as an associate, even though he's not documented or monitored as a member, and even though he's not been labeled as an associate or an affiliate by the other statute. How'd that work? So then the defense starts to ask for evidence. Well, when before the unaliving did she hang with Gathright? Now he starts to talk about, Ramos that is, starts to talk about how there was some sort of like kickback, cookout, something like that at Gathright's house at some point. And Alicia was either there or at least ate there or got some food. And then the Airbnb that weekend, she was there with them and rode up to Tampa with them and then stayed at the Airbnb with them. Now it's at this point the defense clears it up and says, and they get to the point that Alicia went over for the cookout that was happening at Sean Gathwright's house, but she stayed in the car. At some point, she got up, got out, and they went in and got a plate of food, and then she returned to the car. Which is plausible because when they pulled up, Isaiah Chance went in the house, Alicia stayed in the car. And that was on, I believe, one of the doorbell footage at that house. So at this point, they start to question, they go back to Robert Howard. And he goes back to Robert Howard, talks about how he is 6 block and so is Charles Jones, otherwise known as Mr. Six. And how Robert Howard and Charles Jones are good friends. And how Chance and Howard would actually be rivals according to the group titles. However, they were known to talk on the phone a lot.
See, Chance and Howard. Isaiah Chance was really good, really good friends with Kenny Caps. It starts to get real weird right here. It's like everybody on Foolio's side was associating with the same niggas who ambushed him and took him out. It's like everybody knew these people wanted to unalive Foolio, so y'all had to know. So it seems like y'all worked with the other side to take down Foolio so y'all could live. That's what I get from it. It sounds like Kenny Caps and all Foolio's side, 6 block, just said we gonna lay down because we ain't got nobody left. And it sounds like they laid down and let their leader fall so they, you know what I'm saying, they can stay alive in the end. And I think the last one standing was LaCracker, and they got rid of his ass. He in jail.
For hours. And they talked about how they know for a fact that Chance would use Alicia's phone for these combos. Now they said that was all fine and dandy until Robert Howard's girlfriend decided to go through his phone and pull one of them catfish techniques and put that unknown number she didn't know nothing about into Cash App, and it came up as Alicia. I bet Robert Howard ain't never forgot that day. Now, knowing that they had some sort of communication, the defense wanted to kind of hone in on, so why didn't you catch it? Now, according to Detective Ramos, he tracked down the numbers or the call detail records for many people, including Robert Howard, for the 30 days prior to the unaliving. Now, Ramos said that he did that because he did not have access to Robert Howard's phone. And defense said, well, why the hell not? Now, as he's going at him, Ramos starts to trip up, stutter a little bit. There's an objection thrown, and it's stated as argumentative. Judge says sustained. Now it's at this point that McClymonds goes into one of his moves, and he said, well, I don't know why or what legal basis there would be, because this is cross-examination. This is on stuff he already damn said. The judge said, well, it doesn't matter if you know why, because I know why, and I say it's sustained. Now as he goes back into that line of questioning, the state objects again and asks for a sidebar, and with this, the jury goes out. Now, when a jury goes out, we're all listening, because I'm like, that can't be the reason why the jury is going out the damn room, because he was going somewhere, he had the opportunity to go somewhere else. But what we find out is this got to do with this morning. So in an effort to streamline the process this morning for cross-examination and for the case in chief for the defense, Judge Sisko asked for the co-counsel of the defense to work with the state to get all the evidence that they needed, to get all the exhibits that they needed, line them up. However, she didn't want them to do it at the actual defense table because the defense was going to be questioning the witness. And so she didn't want it to cause a distraction. So she asked that person or the co-counsel, who we now find out is Mr. Coffee, to actually move to another place so he's not being a distraction. But we can make sure when they're done with this cross-examination, we can just keep moving and keep rolling through this examination and through the next case. But it seems that in an effort to streamline everything, Mr. Coffee has been seated over near the state's table while he's getting the exhibits together. Now, surely he ain't paying them a lick of attention. But the state is saying, well, you know, we can't talk like we want to because he's over here. So you have him move somewhere else because he can hear confidential conversation. So now we are literally moving Mr. Coffee and furniture back over somewhere near the defense, but out of the eyesight of the camera and nowhere where it would distract the jury. And we bring the jury back in. So as they come back in, Mr. McClymonds starts off with Chance and his affiliation. And he asks Detective Ramos if he was aware that Chance fell out with ATK before this unaliving. And they are the big rival. Because as everyone else knows, it is Foolio versus Young and Ace. That was the main back and forth. Ramos said, well, there's some back and forth between multiple people.
So ATK was into it with Chance right before this happened. So he might have had to do some shit. Because ATK was on his top too.
Next up, we jump into the footage from Gathrights house. And
what do y'all think about that? Young and Ace might have told Chance, bro, you better do this shit or we gonna get your ass. Notice that, remember, go back to them videos that he dropped, Game Over and Do It, and look at the people who was in the videos, and you could see Gathright in one of the videos. Stay woke.
They outlined that basically all the loading and unloading of the cars is done outside of the presence of Alicia. She's actually still at home, confirmed by her device. And they were able to agree at some point, took a minute, that there was no evidence that showed that she was aware or made aware of what they were loading or unloading, or that they were even unloading or loading or anything of that nature. We then have the kind of walkthrough Airbnb video where it was someone who took a actual video of the front of the Airbnb and then kind of walked over to the side of it to show that little path on the side, little dirt and bushes where you can get in or possibly go to the back door. So it's at this point that it's put out there that that was not the Airbnb owner talking through that video doorbell to Alicia. That was actually somebody who was already inside of the Airbnb. That Alicia was not avoiding any cameras or trying to avoid any detection in Tampa because she walked right on up to that front door. Her knocking indicated that she was not let in remotely. And they also point out that according to the device mapping or the GPS location of all the devices that they did, Alicia was not the first one to arrive. Even more so, that it's very possible that Alicia didn't see Davion when they arrived. They even take it a step further and confirm that that one instance that we heard of where there is no corresponding video to go with it was actually an unlocking event. And that would have been the first unlocking with that code for that particular reservation for the Airbnb. So the first person that went into the actual Airbnb unlocked it from the actual smart lock there and walked in, and the doorbell camera did not catch it. Now, Ramos does also confirm that
Snoop Big Baby for the 5, I appreciate you.
Particular doorbell runs by battery, and that particular kind of power saving mechanism means that that doorbell does go into a like sleeping mode at times, so it can save battery. So it's very possible that the doorbell just didn't catch it.
And Lil Pretty, thank you for the 5 as well.
Because it caught something before and something just after. Now, with this information, they can safely say, well, Ramos reluctantly says that Alicia was not first there and Alicia did not let them in that back door. Alicia had to be let in. Now, the next one, or the next thing that the defense wants to clear up and make very clear is that when Gathright and the boys' devices are up around teasers around 10:30 p.m., that's when Alicia posted that Pandora necklaces or bracelets that we talked about yesterday is so cute, yada, yada, yada. She posted it on Instagram, and her device was nowhere near the boys. It also outlines that the teasers flyer said that the party that Foolio was going to be performing at and Kenny K was going to be hosting, and that's Robert Howard, was going to be going on from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. So the guys were out without Alicia at 10:30 p.m. and they stayed there. They stayed there from about 10 to 10:30 p.m. around teasers, possibly looking for their target, but not with Alicia. Now they confirm again by the location mapping that while at the Airbnb,Gathright's there, Alicia's there. Seems like, well, we can confirm most of the crew is there. That Gathright texts Kyla. And those are those messages about texting Kyla to find out the address for Foolio's Airbnb. And what the defense is pointing out here is that Alicia was there at the Airbnb, right? So if she was in on this or a part of this, or she was in the loop because she was part of the group, then why the hell would they text somebody who is drunk and partying back in Jacksonville to get information about somebody that's right here in Tampa? Now, we're able to say that Kyla was at a bit to drink and was partying because According to Ramos, Kyla says she don't even remember sending those messages back and forth to Gathright because she was out and about and lit. But what the defense is pointing out is that if Alicia was a part of it and they need somebody to get the Airbnb, then why wouldn't they just have Alicia go ahead and write or find out or get somebody or get a girl to go ahead and ask for to DM Julio Foolio for the Airbnb address? He was giving it out to female. You had to DM for it. So if Alicia was a part of this, why didn't they use her then? The defense also,
I would say they wouldn't use Alicia right there because Foolio probably knew who Alicia was. This is my opinion. I think he probably already knew who Alicia was, and everybody probably knew that was what's her name girl. So it wouldn't have been a good idea to use Alicia, because if he would have seen Alicia's face, he'd probably be like, hell no, that bitch a op. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that they had to go elsewhere. Like, no, you already tied in with him, so you hit him up. And you just play green like you know what I'm saying? Act like you don't even know nothing. Because why would I not go ahead and use somebody that I already know this person? You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking like a criminal right now. If I'm going to send a girl in, I'm going to send one in you comfortable with. I ain't going to send one in you going to know as a op. I'm going to send your homegirl over there. And your homegirl going to play green, and she going to be able to get some information out you because you already cool with her. Just guessing.
hones in on that point by saying if this was supposed to be some well planned out, premeditated, whatever, then what the F was that? Why are we calling back to Jacksonville for somebody who clearly doesn't know what's going on and using them for intel? Why didn't the group handle this if that's what they were there to do? And why did they utilize Alicia if that's what she was there to do? Now, when presented with that, well, how is this premeditated if it's so sloppy and don't nobody have their shit together? Ramos didn't like that too much. And he said that there was actually information in the Apple iCloud return for Sean Gathwright's phone that had mentions of this event or going to Tampa, things of that nature. Something he would consider premeditation weeks prior to this happening. So the defense jumps back into what were the requirements besides being female and possibly pretty to get the address for this Airbnb. And he asks Ramos, to your knowledge, did Charles Jones know who Alicia was? Now, again, Ramos don't like this line of questioning, so he said he doesn't know that Charles Jones knew Alicia or not. But if you want to keep playing with this theory, Alicia, he says, so continuing with that theory, Alicia dated K Shorty. So if we want to go in theory, if we're theorizing, then it's technically Charles Jones could have known who Alicia was if she was dating K Shorty. So McLovin said, okay, so stick with that. Wasn't Aaliyah Albritton dating the younger brother of Young and Ace, Quan, the one that passed away in his town center unaliving? So if she can get in the Airbnb, then why the hell couldn't Alicia? We end up taking a break on that note. Now we come back from break and they finish this particular section, not the examination, but this particular portion off by adding that in addition to the Pandora post that Alicia made while the guys were out scoping out teasers, she also had made a post too indicating that why is Pizza Hut so MF and high all of a sudden. And so that was an indication of her truly being hungry, and that's how they ended up at McDonald's.
So is it safe to say that Alicia could possibly beat this case? I don't know, y'all. Double tap that screen. We almost to 400 likes. Everybody double tap that screen if you're in the building. Just double tap your screen and get these likes. So we need 25 likes. I don't know, man. It just seems like they don't got a lot on her. Everything is like circumstantial. It's like, I'm 50-50 with this one. Y'all. I don't know. I was like 75-25. Like, hey, she's gone. But the more we getting closer to the verdict, it's like, bro, I don't know. I think she's guilty. And I think ultimately they'll still find her guilty. But there's loopholes where she might just get away with this shit. We almost done with the breakdown of what happened today. So let's continue.
Next up, they pull up the video of Isaiah Chance and Alicia Andrews at teasers. Now, the state offers an attempt to get Ramos to confirm that while it looks like he or Isaiah Chance is attempting to make calls that avoid the call detail record, well, you see next up in the messages where it proves that whatever type of call he was trying to make was unsuccessful. Because there's that colorful language telling Gathright to pick up the phone twice. Now, while Ramos insists that it was constant communication, the defense is letting him know that if it was constant communication, you wouldn't have to be able to tell somebody to pick up their phone. And on top of telling him to pick up his phone, more importantly for the defense, they wanted to let the jury know that how can she tell you what was said in a call if the call never went through? If it was unsuccessful and he has to tell somebody to pick up their phone and there was nothing for her to hear while she was walking shoulder to shoulder with him because he wasn't getting the man on the phone. Ramos still insists that they were in constant communication on some sort of app that just doesn't show up in the call detail record. So we move to the Truth 18 video and it shows Jones entering. Then we jump to the Silver Cruise. And when we jump over to the cruise, we're jumping over to the cruise while the cruise is at USF. Now, they point out that the cruise is sitting over at USF for about 5 minutes. According to Ramos, they were staging, prepping, getting ready. Then that's when Julio was taken out. Then they jump right into Gathwright's phone. They're saying literally moments after he was taken out, Gathwright actually let Davion Murphy send something from his phone. And it's a shared post from an acquaintance of Davion, and it's where it's talking about drinking Don Julio, and Ramos said that he's already verified that it was Davion using Gathwright's phone. Also, that text message that we saw that we couldn't figure out what the hell it meant, they also said that was Davion texting a young lady and letting her know that he would be coming home and his thirst had been quenched. So I guess the thirst quenching was Julio. Then they talked about all the celebratory posts that happened after that. Young and Ace dropping 2 songs. They said one was called Do It, that had hit right after the news hit. And then Game Over drops days later. And then they start to quote the lyrics of Game Over. And we've done that quite a bit, so I don't need to. So it's at this point they start to move the focus from the folks involved over to Ramos. The defense points out how he had probably worked 3 cases by now, by the time he got this case. And this case was his first one as the lead detective. And right where he's being a little shady to Ramos, then he brings up Aaliyah Albritton. And he confirms that Aaliyah Albritton was with Charles Jones most of the night. But Taifa, Charles Jones' supposed or possibly play cousin, had lied and said that she wasn't there. Objection. Hearsay. Sustained. So when Taifa told you that Aaliyah, objection. Hearsay. Sustained. Well, can we just come sidebar? She looks at the defense and says, no, sustained. And true to McLemmon fashion, he kept going. Like, this goes to the effect the information has on the listener. Doesn't have to be for the truth of the matter asserted, but he's the lead detective. So if he heard some shit like that, so we end up in a sidebar. When we come back, Ramos confirms that J. Breezy or Jacory Rivers is on the Cash App sending $390 to Isaiah Chance. And Isaiah Chance's Cash App account is what paid for the Airbnb. However, Ramos says that was not enough for a search warrant or an arrest. Said that he never checked Young and Ace's iCloud. And when asked if he ever looked into Young and Ace, he paused for a very long time.
Yeah, this is the part where it got real weird because it almost seems like they can't blow this case, because if they blow this case, they're going to blow their case on their building on Young and Ace. Because he's like, so did y'all go through Young and Ace's iCloud? And he's like, and it just got real quiet. He just kept like, I never went through anything. Like, so did anybody go through your look? It wasn't a part of my investigation. I never went through Young and Ace's iCloud. Me personally, I never did. It's almost as if, look, I can't lie on the stand. Look, I didn't do it. I don't know. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. So whoever went through his, it wasn't me. It wasn't a part of my investigation. When he said that let me know. So there is another investigation going on into Young and Ace right now. If it's not a part of your investigation, y'all already went through Young and Ace's iCloud, and y'all already went through Kesey's iCloud. Y'all went through ATK members' iClouds because y'all already know they're connected to this. But you're not going to get them for the direct hit on Foolio because it's so circumstantial that you probably couldn't convict them on this. But what you could do is you could use this as a part of a gang RICO because you keep saying the word gang. This is a gang. This is a gang. So what they're going to do is they're going to go down the list of all of the crimes these gangs committed together, 1200, ATK. They're going to get the Bibby hit. They're going to get the one that they just got queso on. They're going to wrap all of them up. See, this is all these gangs doing this. Therefore, we're going to hit Young and Ace on the RICO because we can tie him into not only this crime, but we can tie him into that one that we know Young and Ace is involved and his crew. RICO, gang enhancement on all of them. That's what's about to happen.
Before thinking for a little bit longer, then he said, I have not looked into the iCloud return for Young and Ace. I didn't need to. Is that a politically correct way to say y'all was looking, but it wasn't you that asked for it? Detective Ramos also points out or does confirm in his time as a lead investigator for the first time, he also never looked into Kyla Enright. She was never arrested, even though she was the one that confirmed that they were at Teasers, and that's who Sean Gathright kind of enlisted to solicit the Airbnb information. And Ramos also confirmed that he never figured out who this fat boy was. That was the subject of the conversation between Kyla Enright and Sean Gathright.
But why would you not just subpoena Kyla's phone so you can go ahead and figure out who Fat Boy was? Because obviously she called him. Obviously she was texting Fat Boy. So all you would have had to do was subpoena Kyla's phone records and you would have been able to tell exactly who Fat Boy was. Look, I'm not stupid, dumb, or slow. Y'all just didn't do it. Just like y'all didn't go look for Alicia's phone. Alicia's phone was the key to the whole case. Why would you not go search that girl's house? That's just a weird thing to me. If you know for a fact, if you get Alicia's phone, but you also know that she got a new phone, why would you not go search for the missing one or question everybody about this damn phone? Because that phone is going to solve the case. And why can't you just subpoena all her shit and just go get the shit yourself? Why do you need her phone so bad? See, that's the part that's like, bro, y'all acting like y'all don't got LexisNexis or this other technology to go get the shit y'all looking for.
Now, he did confirm that he did interview Kyla Enright, but it was just audio. It wasn't like the one we saw with Alicia. It was just the audio. That he knew that Charmaine Steiger had shared a phone with Rashad Murphy and that phone was in Jacksonville at the time of the unaliving. Now, he did say that he believed that Charmaine Steiger was deceptive as hell when talking to him because she stated that Rashad was in Jacksonville with her. But Detective Ramos said he knew better than to believe that because he was quite sure that Rashad Murphy was in Tampa. So he confirms that, yes, he did get the shared phone, or the phone that was shared between Charmaine Steiger and Rashad Murphy, but there was no warrant for their home. That Jasmine Glenn, who owned the cruise that lent her car out, that participated in unaliving. But Detective Ramos said she was not arrested, and she was not arrested because she did not know what the car would be used for. And the defense said, so you investigated that part when? Now, I see what the defense tried to do there. If Jasmine Glenn is not guilty, then neither is Alicia, but I don't know about that. So then they start to clear up verbiage. Like, you don't have no evidence that she got rid of the phone, but yet you keep saying she got rid of the phone like she tossed it in the river or the ocean or something. But while you're sitting here telling the jury that she got rid of a phone, you never went in her house and checked for that damn phone. So they stated that we don't have evidence that that phone is in Alicia Andrews' house. He says, so you don't have anything, any reason, not one. Somebody accused of unaliving somebody, getting rid of the phone, and the person they're connected to's Pum is missing, but you don't have no reason to go up in their house. Now, again, Ramos is getting a little bothered by these insinuations, but he states in a very irritated manner, that there was no evidence that any material, anything to this case would have come from going into that house. He needed probable cause that there was some material evidence in there. To which the defense points out that probable cause is a much lower standard than reasonable doubt. And with it being a very low standard, you still don't have it. He also points out, like, well, if you didn't have the probable cause to go get a search warrant, but you talked to her parents and overall you'd say they're nice people, why didn't you just ask them for their consent to look? He said he never did that. And now we're making it to Alicia's interview.
So why the fuck would they not just go in the house? Hey, look, can we just go look for the phone? The parents could have cooperated and y'all could have went and got the phone. This case is so fucking weird.
Now, of course, we couldn't start the interview without a sidebar. Now, this sidebar also requires for the jury to leave. So what's going on? So remember earlier when they made Mr. Coffee move because the state felt like that he could hear their attorney conversations from the other side? Well, meet Louis Fusco. So the defense points out that this man has been sitting behind them, and then he gets up. One minute he's sitting on the defense side, next minute he's sitting over there on the state side, and he had his phone out. They think he might be recording, but something ain't quite right with this motherfucker, and you need to tell him to get the hell from behind us and don't be recording. So when they ask this person who he is, he introduces himself as Louis Fusco, who we found out is an attorney, but he didn't say that. So now we need to know whose attorney he is. But he simply said that he was Louis Fusco, that he had sat on one side at one point, and then I believe he said her mother was sitting there, so he moved to the other side. I don't know whose mother he was talking about. He could have said her mother, the mother. But he said he had his phone out because he was simply checking some emails and handling some stuff. So as we're trying to figure out who Louis Fusco is, and the courtroom is pretty empty for a trial of this magnitude. And so we're trying to figure out, like, why would you be bouncing around? Why can't you sit over there? Now, while the state is absolutely saying he's sitting 2 rows back, he's not even nowhere near them, he's not recording, the state wants to know, why are we even stopping for this? And Miss Herrera, I believe that's her name, the attorney that looks just like Alicia, remember we said they were twins on day one? Well, she begins to speak. And we figured out what it is that sets off Michael Myers, aka this judge. Now, as Mr. Fusco is pointing out that he can sit anywhere in this very public forum so he can get a better view of the entire trial. And so if he saw a better seat or somebody got up, there should be no reason why he can't get up in this very public forum and go sit somewhere so he can get a better view of the trial. Miss Herrera starts speaking again, and out of no damn where. Do you hear me? Judge Cisco ain't got shit but attitude. And nothing like we've heard before. She said, oh no, Miss Herrera. Oh no, you stop talking. What? Now Miss Herrera is still talking. She said, no, you stop. Because you've been sitting up here making faces in this whole trial, and it's all on camera.
And that, I'm telling you, that girl been unprofessional as hell. I'm talking about the Miss Herrera, the lawyer. She just over there ha-haing with Alicia, passing notes to each other, not paying attention, making faces, smirking, rolling her eyes. She just doing all type of shit, and the judge getting sick of her shit. She like, girl, you've been on one, and you've been real disrespectful. She's like, well, I didn't know I needed permission to talk. She's like, well, yes, the fuck you do. She didn't say it like that, but she damn sure was a girl. Man, look, that judge had enough of that damn lady. But that girl been disrespectful as hell. That is not how you act in nobody's courtroom. You and your damn colleague, or not colleague, you and your damn, whatever the fuck you would call her. This is a person you're representing. You're not supposed to be laughing at trial. I would recommend don't ever laugh. You're on a murder trial. This is serious. Sit up straight, get your hand off your face, look like this. Pass notes to me about the case. Don't pass notes to me about making fun of people and laughing. What the hell is y'all doing? Let's continue.
What's she doing to you? Now, as Miss Herrera starts to point out,
client. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
There have been gestures on both sides, and everybody on the fence is like, yeah, it has. She said there has been gestures all over this court. But I will absolutely do my best to. And the judge cuts her off and said, yeah, you do your best. Because your attitude has been disrespectful. What? She said, okay, Judge. Listen, Judge Michael Myers' top is already pushed back, but at that point, I'd have caught flight like that man in Vegas, and the whole ceiling would have been missing. Because who are you talking to? I ain't said nothing to you this whole damn trial. I ain't argued nothing. I ain't did nothing but sit beside this girl. And see, now it's at this point that this is obviously Miss Herrera is to Alicia what Miss Liberty was to YNW Melly. We never saw human things from YNW Melly until Miss Liberty was able to talk to him, able to coax things out of him. He talked to her, maybe he'd smile a little bit. And it seems like Alicia has the same thing, even though her situation is not anything like Melly's as far as his conditions. However, it is very clear that this judge got a problem with Miss Herrera. And we was wondering why she was hurling insults and things like that over to the defense. Now I'm gonna have to go back and see if anybody got a highlight reel or something that tell us what the hell faces was Miss Herrera was saying. Because maybe we need to buy her that t-shirt and say that my mouth won't say it, but my face will. Now, we try to get back to court, and he tries to start playing the interview again, but the judge is still hyped up. Just stop it. Stop it. Is there a question on the table? Now, Mr. McLaren said, I'm waiting for that part to get here so I can ask the question. The judge says, well, get to that part. He said, now, wait a minute. They played this entire hour and 22 minutes yesterday with no question on the floor. So I'm waiting for the part to pop up so I can ask the question. Well, you just get to it. Baby, Mr. Judge Cisco need to go rub Michael Myers' ankles or something because she's on edge. So finally, we get to parts of the interview where we start to talk about interrogation tactic. And while the defense is insisting that it's to get to the person to confess, Ramos is saying it's to get to the truth. Now, Ramos does explain that the prison talk and telling her about the visitation and things that could happen or become the new norm for her baby's life, for her parents' lives, for her life, those were not threats. He said he wanted Alicia to understand the process and understand what she was facing so she can make an informed decision. I'm not going to lie. Whether it was tactic or not, it definitely sounded like that's what he was doing. I definitely did not get threat from that, but I definitely think the second she saw she was walking into a homie unit, what have we learned from Sergeant Caroline Mason? When you get in there, you know what this is. You should have been calling a lawyer to call your mama and your pastor because at that point, going in that unit is a hell no. So they start talking about how he kept honing in on Alicia to make a decision. But Ramos said the decision that he wanted her to make was whether or not she would be honest. Now they started to talk about how she did tell some truth. And even though Ramos may have called some of it a lie, in all actuality, Ramos was the lie. Because how you sat in that child's face and argued with her about that back door, come to find out, she really didn't get in that front door by code. So therefore, she was not the first one in. There was somebody in there when she got there. Now, he also starts talking about how, who the Murphys were, things that they had or might have had going on, and the type of people they might have been. And he said, now you asked her about the Murphys and about knowing them, but did you offer her any protection from the Murphys? But you wanted her to identify them on a piece of paper. So at this point, they start connecting dots, and it's really an outline as to the tactic that was used and the response it evoked from Alicia. And he goes back to point out to Ramos and say, you were 100% pretty damn sure that she let them in. He said, no, I was sure that she was the only one on the camera. Now don't go lying, Ramos. You did, y'all. You and Campbell swore that girl let them people in through the back door. She was the first one in the damn Airbnb. So they point out that even though you were barking at Alicia, she was 100% truthful when she told you, I did not have no code to that door. But instead, you and Campbell barked at her and told her that she was a liar. She was the first one in. She used the code and she let everybody else in. He also confirmed that there is no other defendant out here cooperating against Alicia. So there's nobody else, not even the people who are waiting a trial for the actual popping of Julio Foolio. Nobody is saying that Alicia was in on it, that Alicia knew, that Alicia planned it, and that Alicia went along with it.
With that being said, I don't know. I don't know that Alicia can go down for this. The more you get, like, they were proven today that they lied. She did not know the code to that damn Airbnb. Somebody let her in, and it was proven by everybody who got up there on that stand. They proved that that girl did not know the code. She never had knowledge of any of this. So did she know Foolio was gonna, like, can you prove that she knew Foolio was gonna die and that she went out there for the sole purpose of unaliving Foolio and setting him up? You can't prove that. That's just me being honest. You cannot prove that she knew beyond a reasonable doubt that she knew this was gonna happen and she went out to Tampa for it to happen. She's saying, look, I just went out there for my boyfriend. Look, we know she knew, but can you prove she knew? That's my point. You can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she went out there and set her eyes on killing Foolio. They never proved that. They made it sound better than what they had. That's all I'm saying. By the way they worded it, and then whenever they presented their evidence, it wasn't as clear cut as you made it seem like you had it. That's just me being honest. And I hope she go down, but I'm just being damn honest. What do y'all think? Did they prove it to y'all? Yes or no in the chat? Have they proved it to y'all? Yes or no?
Now, as McLyman starts to kind of bring it home for the end of his cross-examination, he points out that statement that Alicia made at 17 years old when she was in high school 4 years ago, when she said that Foolio needs to croak, this was sent to somebody named Jewel, not Isaiah, nor any other co-defendant, nor was it ever forwarded to them, nor was it ever sent to them. It's not in anybody else's iCloud backup return. This was not information that she shared with any of these co-defendants. There are no other messages or anything like it in the more recent years. Now, as they start to hone in on that point, Ramos starts to get a little bothered again. He said, listen, don't do that. Don't do that, because the more recent stuff wasn't backed up on that new ass phone. But more importantly, the defense makes sure that they highlight that there are no messages between Alicia and Isaiah leading up to this. So next up, the state has a redirect. And the state starts to point out some things that they said, hey, don't forget about this shit. Like, she says she don't know Rashad Murphy, but she was in an Uber with him. And she purposely did not name him as being in the Uber. And even with all the truthful things that she may have said, she didn't exactly give that information without a little push. Meaning, according to the state, she doesn't admit being in Tampa until after she's shown the picture. Now, state, I gotta disagree right there, because he said we're going to show you some things and then you'll get a chance to answer some questions or not answer some questions.
Salute to J Stay Fresh. I appreciate the $5. Says, damn Ratchet, after you put it like that, you right. She may have a chance. Salute. I'm being real. She does have a fighting chance. It's not. I think she's guilty, and I think she still will get found guilty. But it's not. I just don't think the state did a great job of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that she's definitely involved. I think that I know she is, and I feel like, yeah, we know, but with all the evidence you put out there, I just don't see it 100%. Although I'm biased because I just want her to be guilty, but I'm being real in the same breath. Like, there is a juror that's probably not gonna agree with this shit. Look what just happened with Diddy. Look what happened to Hernandez Govan. We've seen stranger things.
And then he said, where's that? Or what is that? And she said, I'm out of town with my boyfriend. But I give it to you, there definitely are some other parts where she probably wasn't as forthcoming as possible. The state also says that she never said she was scared of them. Not of the Murphy, not of anybody else. And they point out that she didn't act scared. And also how they tried to make it clear to her that...
Salute Jay Lynn, you're right. It's not about what you know, it's about what you can prove. Thank you for the $10.
She was facing first degree. This was a possibility of a long time in jail. And even then, she wasn't scared. She didn't cry. I'm sorry, state. I don't know what acting scared is, but I tell you what, if somebody willing to go mount up like that, have some brass catchers, do a thing like that, and then I'm supposed to ride back, I ain't acting nothing but normal all the way back to Jacksonville. If this man say I can't leave for a week, guess what I can't do? Is leave. I know it sounds like a terrible thing, but that's a hell of a situation to be in over some young ass choices, albeit choices she made. But you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You tell on them, they all come. And if you don't tell on them, now you sit in a chair. Hell of a predicament, but it's what she chose. They point out in her interview how she was asked about Gathright, but she doesn't offer up Gathright. Matter of fact, she doesn't even say Sean at all. She just says little brother. And she doesn't say little brother on her own at first. But the state offers to insinuate that she knew exactly who Gathright was, that when that Impala pulled up, she didn't just sit in the car. Nobody had to direct her to the back seat. She knew to get in that Impala. She just got in. They said that she was aware of all of that group activity, but not once in the interview did she act like she was aware of anything. Matter of fact, she went as far as to say she didn't really even know who Foolio was. So they also go into all the other folks that have been investigated according to the state. And when they go into all these people that the defense is trying to throw doubt about Jasmine and her being the original owner of the cruise, or about Charmaine Steiger lying through her teeth about Rashad being in Tampa, or even about Aaliyah Albritton and her connections to the other side while being around Julio Foolio and folks lying about her being there. She said, look, at the end of the day, Aaliyah, Jasmine, Charmaine, did any of those folks come to Tampa, ride in the vehicle with Chance and Gathright, stay at an Airbnb with the others, and the others are the ones charged? Did they get in the vehicle and track Julio Foolio? Did they go everywhere that Jones would be at? Did they use their phone to provide the comms or communications to the ultimate folks that was going to take him out? Good point. Afterwards, she brings up all the possibilities of the iCloud backup. How it could go wrong, mess up, not complete. But there was also another possibility as to why those messages didn't come back with the backup, because they were deleted. She also points out that Alicia is not well known in this group setting. So why not use her phone? Because at the end of the day, Isaiah Chance was almost immediately, if not immediately, a suspect. But his phone had no evidence. They also provide some more messages, and those messages actually do talk about or are between Isaiah and Alicia. And it looks like they're kind of looking at a place. It looks like she sent a link, and they're looking at a place that they may want to go. But Isaiah Chance is expressing a little bit of disdain about going in this particular area because apparently it's in town center. So since it's in the town center area, he actually tells her, like, no, that's where 23 was taken up. And so they're saying that in that same message, Alicia acknowledges that, hey, of course I knew he was gone, but I forgot that that's where they did it. And so there, that shows that she had knowledge of that incident and where it came from. They also talk about how they may not have Alicia's full iCloud messages, but she did have a text now number. And from that account, she had some aggressive ass messages towards Isaiah Chance, and she didn't have no problem calling him a few times. So she must not be scared of him. And with that, we go to lunch.
Man. So right there, y'all see, they've been on point about a lot of shit, but did they prove that case? We don't know.
Julio Foolio actually doesn't get killed if he had a reservation at the Holiday Inn. When he had pulled up, he wasn't just kind of like waiting around to book a room, and he goes straight into the building. He had people with him, goes to his room. I'm thinking he doesn't get killed, but you never know. They came 3 hours, and they got an Airbnb that was for a few days. Maybe they would have waited around until he was walking out the hotel. But they caught him at the right spot. For anybody, and you don't have to be famous, you don't have to even have ops. It's like one of the worst things to do is just to be sitting idle with no intent. Like you're trying to figure out the next move. Like you're a sitting duck. Who knows what happens the next morning? Maybe they're that brazen, they just sit downstairs and wait like we're killing this thing no matter what. I'm almost inclined to think they wouldn't try to do it there. They probably would try to follow him and try to do something at another spot. Why? Because these are dumb criminals. Like the way they're moving, they think they're not detected. They're using the girl's phone. They got her as the only person that walks in the Airbnb, as if they believe that they're invisible. Oh, nobody knows we're here. They know she's here, but she don't got no smoke with nobody. So they feel they're being smart. I believe if he goes into the hotel, they're not crash out to the point they're shooting him in front of the fucking concierge or the clerk at Holiday Inn. They're going to be like, all right, let's just follow him to the next spot. I always say this. I've seen so many tragedies happen where people, it's the end of the night at the club, people are standing around because they're looking for bitches. Because you want to holler at some chicks or you're talking to somebody. No. A lot of times when it comes to nightlife, there's nothing good that happens outside of a club or when you're just idling.
Yeah, you never supposed to just be in the car just sitting, especially if you a street dude with ops and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I guess drinks came into the equation, but that's why you got to keep that's why you got to keep people around you who on point though. All your homeboys not supposed to be drunk. Somebody's supposed to be on point. You know what I'm saying? You should have real security so you and your boys could chill that night and real security who's stepping on something. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was alert and y'all was just sitting ducks out there. So unfortunately, that's what cost you your life, man. We need 20 people to double tap that screen, get the likes up, man. We at $85. We need 15 to get to a honey bun. Let's go, gang. Let's get the likes up. Let's go. Double tap that screen. Let's go.
And Rashad Murphy texted you. Did it have anything to do with Foolio's death?
He said he forgives me. So
Forgives you for what?
that's what I was trying to figure out.
This is Kenny Caps. So listen to this again, y'all. This is Kenny Caps' testimony right here. Listen to this.
And Rashad Murphy texted you. Did it have anything to do with Foolio's death?
He said he forgives me. So
Forgives you for what?
that's what I was trying to figure out.
So you don't know.
She said, forgive me.
Did you respond?
And look at her. Look at her while this is happening. Just look at her. These two idiots right here. Everybody watching these two idiots right here.
Did it have anything to do with Foolio's death?
He said he forgives me. So
Forgives you for what?
that's what I was trying to figure out.
So you don't know.
She said, forgive me.
Did you respond?
I don't recall responding.
And was there ever any conversation between you and Rashad Murphy about Spaz in the past?
Yes, sir.
Were any of these conversations about whether you had done anything to Spaz?
Yes, sir.
And those conversations you're saying were friendly?
Yes, sir.
What in the hell is he talking about? So you the person who really is supposed to, you know what I'm saying, took out Spaz, or at least you took the blame for it. And you saying he hit you up to have friendly conversations about you taking out his people.
And was there ever any conversation between you and Rashad Murphy about Spaz in the past?
Yes, sir.
Were any of these conversations about whether you had done anything to Spaz?
Yes, sir.
And those conversations you're saying were friendly?
Yes, sir.
And look at Alicia.
Does 6 Block have a hand sign?
Yes, sir.
Alright. That hand sign, or let me ask you this, is there a hand sign for 21st Street?
Yes, sir.
Is there one for 1200?
Yes, sir.
Are the signs for 1200 and 21st, are they the same?
I don't think so. No, sir.
So that's Kenny Caps, who admits that Rashad hit him up right when they got done unaliving Foolio and said, I forgive you. The fuck is he forgiving you for?
Co-defendant Isaiah Chance paid $361 to Airbnb. The payment was timestamped 3:54 a.m., June 22nd, 2024. It was the exact Tampa rental used by the suspects. The app records didn't stop there. A short time later, Chance received $390 from rapper Jay Breezy, just before the murder. Then, Alicia Andrews, his girlfriend, sent and received thousands through her own transfers. The paper trail was digital and damning. The digital footprint matched the physical one. A Tesla camera and hotel surveillance captured the shooter, armed with a Glock and extended magazine. A still image revealed a torn knee in the jeans, flesh showing through. That detail matched the pants worn by Rashad Murphy days earlier at a Jacksonville Walmart. Same rip, same belt, same boots. Investigators linked cash transfers, texts, and bullets. Alicia's iCloud showed she received nearly $3,000 from Mr. Rich Off War the morning of the murder at 4:52 a.m. Hours later, she sent $15 to Charmaine Steiger, girlfriend of another co-defendant, Rashad Murphy. The web of connections tightened, but none of the victim's friends, none, had contact with any of the suspects before the killing. Detective Ramos pulled 30 days of call records for Aaliyah Alberton and others who were with Foolio that night. No messages, no calls, no ties. This wasn't a feud, it was an ambush. DNA from 39mm shell casings couldn't be matched. Not enough material. Blood in the victim's Dodge Charger, already explained, belonging to those inside the car. But fingerprints were lifted from the Chevy Impala and Chevy Cruze. Suspect vehicles caught on camera. One was seen being wiped clean with a white rag.
Man. So right there, you see they literally just ambushed him. They were sending money to each other. They got all the wire transfers. Salute to Red Velvet for the $5. I appreciate you, Red Velvet. All right, we at 90. We 10 away from a honey bun. Let's go.
Case 7 of the state of Florida versus Alicia Andrews in the Julio murder trial. If you're new here, my name is Keontae Ariel, and my recaps are just a little different. Actually going to court in person, sitting through the hearings, and coming back to give you guys these entertaining recaps that still provide some seriousness, because all of this is serious. But I try to bring a little light. Okay, I call it the Armand Wiggins reporting style. Alicia walks in, she has on a sand-colored blazer, a brown turtleneck.
Salute V Will for being a member for 15 months. I appreciate you, V Will. Salute.
And what is that giving?
Drop the flowers for V Will.
Guys, that she's cold, she's trying to be comfortable in the best way that she can be with what is provided to her. Then we have the judge that comes in, and she's a little late, a little tardy to the party due to traffic. But we get straight into it. It's time for the defense to question Detective Ramos. And
thinking to myself, about goddamn time, because I thought we was going to be done with Ramos yesterday. We were supposed to have Robert Howard and all these other people yesterday. Man, I'm trying to give y'all these in-person recaps because it's nothing like an in-person experience. But god damn. But now it's time for the defense to really turn it around. For after yesterday, the state made, Alicia look, we were all looking like.
This attorney McClymonds starts off with wanting to understand what Juan Ramos was able to gather regarding Chance and Gathrigh's motive.
Salute to V Will for the $10. I appreciate you. And salute to Tatiana for the $10. I appreciate you. I'm late, but I made it. Salute to you. I appreciate it. Oh, my bad.
Murder Julio. And Ramos is basically, he said, well, Chance has friends that has died from the hands of, from the gang violence of 6 Block, or gang retaliation from 6 Block, and that Sean is just a gang associate due to the statutory state rights or something, he said like that. And defense attorney McClymonds starts dissecting the video evidence that was brought in that we went over yesterday, but we've seen the state's point of view. So now it's time for us to see what the defense makes out of these videos with Detective Ramos. Keep in mind, yesterday, with the state and Detective Ron Ramos, they basically said that she has to know Sean because she was driving in the car with him for 3 hours. She went to a party, prior. She's been dating Isaiah for 4 years on and off. And not only that, she was at the Airbnb with Sean. So she has to know Sean. She has to know gang associates. She has to know about gangs. And even in our interrogation, she was acting like she did not know of Sean, but then she ultimately said that, yeah, I guess that would be Isaiah's little brother, or they call him little bro. That's just what their whole point in case was yesterday.
Salute to Christy Reed for the $20. I appreciate you, Christy. Salute.
Defense attorney is like, you're basing Alicia Andrews' knowledge of Sean off of a gathering, and because she drove in a car with him for 3 hours, and because she had to be with him at the Airbnb while they were in Tampa. And Juan Ramos is like, yeah, I would consider her knowing Sean due to those things. Okay, so then they go back to the video, and he's like, well, so do you see Alicia talk to Sean at all as she is exiting the BMW and getting into the Impala, the backseat of the Impala? And Juan Ramos is like, no. This segment, my Kiki notes, I was basically like, the defense attorney is basically trying to point out how she doesn't really know Sean, how you can't really, like, really say that because she went to a gathering once and because she drove down here for 3 hours with Sean that she knows Sean, when clearly at the house you don't see any communication, no words ever spoken between this girl and Sean. It's kind of like she just got out the car and got into the back seat. She said she was ready to go because her and Isaiah had been arguing. So how y'all feel about that? Okay, so then they start dissecting the Airbnb footage. They start dissecting some more text messages. In this segment, I feel like the defense attorney was basically trying to make a point in case that it's the possibility that Alicia did not see Davion and Rashad, traveling behind them. It's a possibility that she did not see them arrive to the Airbnb based off her being in the Airbnb at 7:52 and the boys arriving at 7:57 based off their cell phone tracking, right? Right. Then they get into these text messages of Sean texting this girl, and basically, Sean is asking her a lot of open-ended questions regarding Julio's location, who with who, and the girl is basically, feeding him the information. We're literally called teasers, beezers. So I'm like, why she didn't get checked like Alicia did? And Juan Ramos is like, well, basically Alicia had the most communication evidence within this whole situation, so that's why we got her. Y'all, I'm really trying to do this recap for y'all while continuing to watch the proceedings right now, live streaming on the Street Elements YouTube page. Like, I got a lot going on, so have some grace. This whole segment, point in case of the text messages and all that, the pictures. He said, did Alicia send a text? Juan Ramos said, I can't testify who's using the phone right now. The defense attorney gets into, well, did you see Alicia doing any kind of celebratory posting after this Foolio murder? And Juan Ramos is like, no, but...
And after that, Charles Jones is shot and killed at the Home 2 Suites hotel in the parking lot.
At some point, yes.
After he's shot and killed, there's a bunch of celebratory messages, correct?
Correct.
Someone says, I'm coming home, my thirst is quenched, Papa Vala Don Julio today. Do you remember that text message?
I do.
Do you remember that it comes from Sean Gafford's device?
I do.
And you remember that it goes to an individual that one of the Murphy brothers knows?
Correct.
All right. So presumably Sean Gafford did not send that text message, correct?
Correct.
One of the Murphy brothers used his phone to send it.
I believe they're cousins.
Oh, sorry. One of the Murphy cousins uses the phone to send that message, correct?
Correct.
Is it Rashad Murphy who does not have a phone that sends that message?
The evidence, it's actually Davion Murphy. I verified it ultimately.
Okay, so it's Davion Murphy that sends that message?
Yes.
Then there's another message. I'm coming home, my thirst is quenched, I love you, Murphy. Is that Davion Murphy or Rashad Murphy that sends that message?
That's right. So you're correct. So there's two messages, two different numbers, sent around the same time. I made contact with the young lady who was the subject of one of those messages, and she confirmed to me that it was Davion who sent it to her. I don't know about the second one.
Okay.
I mean, in theory, Davion could have sent one, Rashad could have sent the other, but I just assumed Davion sent both.
Okay. Alicia Andrews did not post either of those two posts, correct?
No, sir.
Then we have an individual, Young and Ace, who releases a song shortly after the murder, correct?
Correct.
The song's called Game Over?
The one specifically right after the murder, on the day of the murder, was Do It, Game Over, came a few days later.
All right. Few days. So there's two songs that Young and Ace dropped right after the murder.
Correct.
All right. And in one of Young and Ace's songs, he speaks to what happened. This murder happened at around 4 a.m. A little bit after 4 a.m. Closer to 5 a.m.
Yeah, specifically 4:40 a.m. Yes.
4:40 a.m. And Young and Ace's song specifically says 5 in the morning, got a call. What is this? Dead on the floor, dead on arrival, Mr. Six. That song is a celebration of the fact that Charles Jones is dead, correct?
That's what I'm gathering, yes.
Then they start deep diving into like, you know, other people that possibly were involved or did this and did that. J. Breezy, who paid for the B&B that was not arrested, never had a search warrant. You got the Jasmine girlfriend, you got the Rashad girlfriend or Charmaine or whoever these other people, individuals were, that kind of maybe had like a small dealing in it, but not really a dealing, because Jasmine was arrested, no search warrant. Charmaine, no search warrant. J. Breezy, no search warrant. And Juan Ramos is like, he's like, just because you participate don't mean we search the house. I must have probable cause to want to search these homes. So no, I did not search Rashad, Davion, Alicia, J. Charmaine, Jasmine. We did not, you know, search these places. And there's a little hiccup.
We're going to get through it and respond to these directions. I think in the same way, the court instructed Mr. Coffey to move away from the state's table to protect the confidentiality of their discussions. It wouldn't be the same as this attorney said over there, where his client is and not behind the fence table where he can observe what we're doing during this delicate cross-examination if he so chooses.
And that's whenever that dude was sitting behind them. You can't really hear it in this one, but that's when the old boy was over there sitting behind them and he got all pissed off.
If you wouldn't mind.
I'm gonna show y'all a better one of that later. With the audio better.
Hiccups did not stop, because then they had to bring, you know, now it's the defense turns times to question Ramos about the interrogation video. And yesterday the state, I was there. Yesterday the state was allowed to play their entire video. Now the state was trying to fast forward it to certain pieces, and the judge said, no, just let it play. Just let it play. At some point she did get a little aggravated. She was like, well, when is it about to start? And the state was like, it's going to start in about a minute. But when the defense attorney was, when it's his time to do the interrogation video, the judge was like, no. Fast forward it. Get to the point.
I'm waiting until, I'm publishing it to the jury, and I'm waiting until he gets to a part that I can ask a question.
Well, can we get to that part and then you ask the question?
Just because it's an entire interview yesterday for 1 hour and 22 minutes without a question. I'm just trying to get to a particular part. I want the jury to see what's happening now, and then I'm going to ask a question about it.
Great, can we get to that part?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, well, we're not just going to play it. Can we fast forward to the part?
They start dissecting the interrogation video. The defense made pointing cases that, you know, Alicia was very truthful with you in some, well, no, and when you asked her questions, she was truthful, and Ramos was like, well, the only thing I consider her not being truthful in is saying that she doesn't know Sean or Gutta Zay, and then that's when he went back to, well, you think she only knows Sean because of one gathering and because she traveled, you know, down here to Tampa with him. Fingerprints in her DNA was also not found on any of the 30 or 31 shell casings that they sent into ATF for testing. So much more other back and forth, but then the state comes and she was like, well, did she cry in this interrogation? Did she seem remorseful? Did she lie about, well, so no to the crying, no to the remorseful. Did she seem afraid? No. And did she lie about not knowing Julio? Yes. So then it's time to break for recess, and they break for recess, they come back. The next witness is going to be Robert Howard. I wanted to be there because I had a really good feeling that they were not going to have him on film. So if I was there, I would have been able to give y'all that in-person vibe of what that was all about. But I am running so behind. I am streaming live right now on Cuff Media's Instagram, KUFFED Instagram. If you want to come and watch it with me, the first half of the trial is on Street Elements Global Media's YouTube. And I will be back with my second part recap of day 7. If I get 10 people to say they want me to go to court.
Salute to her. And yeah, man, what do y'all think? I don't know, man. This case is getting weirder.
Girl, I don't like Foolio. Ugly ass. He needs to die. And that was Will Friend, and then that code, and he shot me and my friend died, question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, I'm pointing out who did it. What's she saying there? What's she talking about?
She's saying,
And then what did you say in response?
I can't stand him either. He screamed as OMG, kill a little friend, OH, nah, I would have slid.
y'all hearing this shit? I don't know if y'all can make out what she's saying. I'm gonna have to repeat everything maybe because this girl is a setup bitch. This girl on stand is like, shit, I would have slid too. I would have put a bag on that nigga. I'm like, what the fuck? This is y'all witness y'all put on stand. A girl is talking about sliding and bodying somebody, putting a bag on somebody. Listen to this shit, y'all.
With Julio.
Said fuck Foolio, and they start cussing.
Ugly ass.
With his ugly ass.
He needs to die. And
he needs to die.
That was Wolf friend, and then
that was somebody friend.
That code.
Fuck the code.
And he shot me.
He shot me.
And my friend.
And my friend.
Died. Question.
My friend died.
Question mark. Question mark. Yeah, I'm pointing out who did it. What's she saying there? What's she talking about?
She's saying.
And then what did you say in response?
So that was Alicia talking to this girl, and this girl's response was this.
I can't stand him either.
I can't stand him either.
He's green as.
He green as fuck.
LMG, he killed Wolf friend.
He killed Wolf friend.
Oh, nah, I would have slid.
Hell nah, I would have slid.
Cause he all on Instagram clowning his age.
Cause he all on Instagram clowning his ass.
I would have dropped that bag on his.
I would have dropped that bag on his ass.
Yeah.
She sound like she incriminated herself too. She talking about dropping bags and she don't like him and she would have slid. Girl, why are you testifying?
Even though you emphasized the message there, did you want Julio to die?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance?
Ain't that irrelevant?
You all are talking back and forth with each other. Is this a form of gossip?
Yes, it is.
She's claiming she was only there because she wanted to go along with her boyfriend who was a bit hostile and threatening, etc., etc. And we may even hear that he abused her if she decides to take the stand. She didn't know what was going on. And when they're out there and they're talking about this guy and they're driving around looking at this guy, she knows exactly what they're doing or what they're out to do because she's involved in it. She's talked about it. Not that she maybe wanted to do it, but she knew what was going on.
That's very insightful.
You know I'm about to be in the car for hours. You're not telling me where we going, what we doing.
And the judge today tried to give Alicia one more out. I don't know if y'all caught on to it, but the judge said, look, y'all want to bring up him abusing her. Y'all want to bring up the... Look, if that girl don't hit the stand, I don't want to hear none of that shit. She needs to get on the stand. The judge straight up said, the only way you're going that route, she's going to have to testify. And not only is she going to have to testify, the only way you're going to bring a witness up here to say that shit that you're trying to say, because we know what you're trying to do. Y'all going to try to bring some witnesses up in here that are not credible, and they're going to say that he was abusing her. No, she needs to get on the stand. If she don't get on the stand, I don't want to hear it. We're not going to allow nobody to get up there and say she was being abused. They're like, what the fuck? Yeah, the judge straight up said, nope, the only way she's going to be able to go that route, she's going to have to testify. So they giving her one last chance to get up there and snitch. They giving you grace, Alicia. The best decision you can make is get up there right now and prove that damn state's case and just say, I want a deal. Give me immunity. Give me something. I'll tell y'all everything you need to know. I just want a deal right now. I don't know that they'll give you a deal right now because they didn't already you ain't been very cooperative. If you would have just been cooperative in the beginning, they would have probably gave you a full immunity. I'm being serious. If you would have just been like, look, I need my lawyer, but I want a deal. I will talk to y'all, but only with my lawyer. Thank you, Ronnie, for the membership. Salute. If she would have just been smart and just said, I'm gonna shut up till my lawyer gets here, but I'm willing to cooperate, they would have gave you a deal. You probably could have got immunity to take down ATK, but instead you rather, see this through. You would rather just go see this through. Let's continue.
I told y'all, I really think Judge Disco's problem with the defense attorneys, either she feels they're inexperienced or she doesn't like that the way they present themselves in court. I don't know what it is. Because, child, there's no way she just read the rules of discovery to Attorney McLean. It's no way. She just seems fed up, almost as if she's having to hold their hand through trial and it's bothering her. I don't know. But I do see the comments about, oh, she hates the defense. They're not getting a fair shot. I don't know, but reading the rules of discovery to a practicing attorney is wild.
Yeah, and I've seen so much unprofessionalism in this damn case. I ain't never seen this level of people being unprofessional at a damn trial before.
This detective been lying. First, they said that Alicia Andrews was the first person in the Airbnb and that she opened the back door to let everybody else in. But now they're showing video footage of Alicia Andrews knocking on the door. She never had the Airbnb app. She never had the code to the front door. Somebody finally answers the door from inside of the Airbnb and says, "My bad."
You hear someone say, "My bad," as she walks inside. Is that correct? All right. So somebody was inside.
Now here's a few things for that. Now the detective is saying they can't prove who opened the back door for anybody. Now the detective is saying that no, they don't have the surveillance footage showing the other person who was already inside of the Airbnb. And Alicia Andrews never booked the Airbnb. They have already proven this. They have already shown this in evidence. It was Rashad Murphy. Now Alicia's phone did send a text message out, but it was not to the Airbnb host. It was to somebody who be like the scammers on Facebook saying, if you book through me, I can get you 50% off of your hotel or 50% off on your light bill, stuff like that. Then they say Alicia Andrews knew what was going on because Isaiah Chance made phone calls in front of her, so she heard what was being said. But today they have now said that those calls that Isaiah Chance was making in front of Alicia, nobody ever answered those calls, to the point where he started sending out text messages saying, "Answer the effing phone." They did come back and say that the guy's location were pinging at Teaser's nightclub, but Alicia's cell phone location at one point was at that same time, I think around 10 p.m., was pinging back at the Airbnb where she was posting about a Pandora bracelet on Instagram. There's also a mention of another female who was helping to find the location of Julio Foolio and to see who all was with him. Now, Alicia was not reaching out to anybody looking for Julio Foolio. However, there was another girl who was calling around to see if Fat Boy was with Julio Foolio, to see where they were at, the location, the address, all of that. That person who was trying to help drop the low on him is not being charged in this crime whatsoever and did not turn state witness. So why is Alicia being charged and that person who was actually trying to help find his location not charged at all? They started talking about the whole Aaliyah Albrin situation and how they lied and said that Aaliyah was not on the scene, but she was actually there everywhere that Julio Foolio went. Now, they also brought up the text message that Alicia sent saying that she wanted Julio Foolio dead. That was 4 years ago. Her and Isaiah Chance were not together, and that she has not sent any other messages about Julio Foolio after that, about wanting him to die or anything to that nature since 2021. And this was after somebody had been unalived and they were talking about a social media post, and she basically said that she felt like he should die, and then she turned around and said, "If you pew me and unalive my friend, I'm going to tell the cops on you." She did not say she was going to unalive him back. She said she was going to tell the police. On top of that, they said that J. Dot is still under investigation. And this case is still open. They are still investigating people, and they are investigating him to see why he sent an amount that was used to pay for the Airbnb that housed the people that unalived Julio Foolio. Soon as I have some more information, y'all, I will let you all know.
So let me tell y'all this. That's something else I forgot to bring up. Thankfully she did, so I can remember. They also said today that this is an ongoing investigation into the murder of Julio Foolio. And they were like, wait, what do you mean ongoing investigation? They're like, there's still other people being investigated. So I'm trying to explain this to you. I know y'all will be like, why would they not just arrest J. Breezy and arrest Young and Ace and Kesey and them if they all, no. It's going to be hard to convict them on just this. The best thing to do is to let the crew go down, and the head is the RICO, because Young and Ace is the head of ATK. This is Ace's top killers, allegedly. So then Ace has a business. He's a rapper, and he's using his funds. He's tying up his funds into this, and he sent money to J. Breezy, who's also a rapper, and he's using his funds to do this. So now this is conspiracy. This is a RICO. This is a criminal enterprise. That's how you go get the head of the snake. You charge them with RICO. It's harder to take them off of them RICO charges, because once you prove the RICO, everything else falls under the RICO. All you got to do is have a few predicate acts in that RICO to take them down. So all you got to do is say, okay, well, we know that conspiracy is in the RICO, and we also know that a violent crime, murder was committed under this RICO. So this is two criminal enterprises together with conspiracy to commit murder and also committing the murder. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, it gets tricky, but just pay attention, man. They're building a RICO on Young and Ace right now. They're building a RICO on J. Breezy. These people are still under investigation, but they're not trying to blow the investigation by talking too much during these trials. Once these trials are over, with the Julio Foolio first set of people, which are the people who actually went out there and did the dumb shit, then they're going to get the people who are tied into it, along with all the other murders that they got away with, or they thought they got away with. But JSO not ever going to let up on Young and Ace until he's gone. Let's continue.
You live the rest of your life with another woman in a cell the size of this room, with a steel toilet in the corner with no door around it, and a little tiny sink above it. That is your life every single day for the rest of your life. You have a guard telling you.
Make sure y'all double tap that screen and make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Let's go.
When you get up, when you take a shower, when you go outside to a caged yard with giant walls, when you go back to your cell, and when you go to bed. And the next day, they open the bars again, and the guard tells you what to do every part of your day. If you backtalk, you get lit, you get put in solitary confinement. You get food taken away from you. You have no freedom again for the rest of your life. There's none. So whatever you did today, I hope it was fun. I hope it was the most fun you have ever had in your life, because you're going to need those memories to carry you through the rest of your life, because you won't make any more memories after today. So they said, does that make sense to you? But they said, I'm gonna try to connect with you a little bit, okay? I've got two daughters, right? Your parents do not want to see you through glass until the day they die, all right? If this was my girl in this seat, okay, I would beg her, be honest, tell the truth, get yourself out of this situation, okay? Because at the end of the day, we have to go in front of the jury. We get to tell our story, and then your story is what you're telling me here right now. Who do you think the jury's gonna believe? I went down, I don't know what car went down, and I don't know really where we went. You know, we didn't really want to go in here. You know, I only did this. No, your story, listen. This is your one opportunity, sweetie. This is, you don't care. I mean, if you're the type of person that can participate in a ruthless murder, whether the guy deserved it or not, okay? No, but that's the thing. Just because you don't pull the trigger doesn't mean that you can participate. Okay. You obviously don't give a shit, man. Did you see Julio Foolio in that parking lot at all?
She's denying everything. She's playing her best game of chess right now. She really thinks that she's going to get away with it. We're going to find out tomorrow. People keep asking me, is the trial over tomorrow? Well, the state has rested their case today. The state rested their case. The defense has not. They're still calling up their witnesses, and we're still waiting to see, is Alicia going to take the stand? I think that Alicia only has one card to pull, and that would be, I think that it would benefit her to take that stand if she wants to get a deal. If she just wants to just try to get away with it, don't take the stand. If you want a deal, take the stand. If you just want to try to get away with it and think that you're going to get away scotch-free, then, hey, just take your chances with them lawyers you got. Other than that, you got to get on that stand.
About an individual named J. Dot.
Yes, I do, sir.
And he paid for the Airbnb in this case?
The Cash App records indicate that J. Breezy paid Mr. Isaiah Chance $390 right before Mr. Isaiah Chance paid for the Airbnb.
All right, and J. Dot, he was never arrested.
This investigation's still open.
You hear that? Listen to that again. J. hasn't been arrested. This investigation is still ongoing. They have not solved the Foolio murder yet. This is just the first set. This is phase 1 of the Foolio murder. They're going to prove the conspiracy part in the second set. Then they're gonna sweep the streets of Jacksonville, and everybody's going to prison.
$3 right before Mr. Isaiah Chance paid for the Airbnb.
All right, and J. Dot, he was never arrested.
This investigation's still open.
J. Dot, all right, and J. Dot, he was never arrested.
This investigation's still open.
It's still open?
In reference to any other involvement, specifically to Mr. J. Dot.
You heard it? He said to any other involvement, especially Mr. J. Dot. Meaning, nigga, you're under full investigation right now, and you are going to jail once we prove they did this shit.
This investigation's still open.
It's still open?
In reference to any other involvement, specifically to Mr. J. Dot.
All right. So anybody else who was involved in this is still under investigation right now. And I'm telling you, the only reason why is because they got bigger plans for them besides Julio Foolio. They got RICO. The feds are coming. The feds have already told them we have them under investigation. Y'all stand down. We got this from here. You don't worry about J. Breezy. You don't worry about Young and Ace. You don't worry about ATK. Y'all take care of this with these 1,200 boys. We gonna swoop in for the RICO. Don't worry about it. We got it from here.
Okay. The fact that he paid for the Airbnb, that wasn't enough for an arrest warrant. Or sorry,
The fact that he sent $390 on its own was not enough for an arrest warrant for Mr. J. Breezy, correct?
Was it enough for a search warrant?
I can't.
Look, he's like, I can't, because then he's gonna blow the He's gonna blow the case. Like, nigga, the feds got it, bro. I can't. He can't say it. He's like, man, I can't say shit. But just know that, nah, I don't got enough to arrest him. They got it.
Sorry.
The fact that he sent $390 on its own was not enough for an arrest warrant for Mr. J. Breezy, correct?
Was it enough for a search warrant?
I can't. This.
Look, they have to sustain it. She know, even the judge know. Look, the feds got this. These boys is under investigation by the feds. We can't blow their cover. The judge knows what's up. The judge knows they finna all go down.
Alicia Andrews, I'm sorry to say it, baby girl, but you gone. They have so much evidence against all 5 of y'all. It's pitiful. Y'all didn't think that through. Y'all just went out there and did something because it's so much evidence against y'all. Y'all arriving to the Airbnb. Nobody coming in through the front, going through the back. Then y'all should just continue going through the back. Y'all went to the front. Y'all just, once that man was gone, y'all knew he was gone, y'all just did not care no more. Y'all face is all over cameras. Like, baby, you just had a baby. Like, baby girl, you gone. You gone. All 5 of y'all are fried. And then your best friend got on there and sung like Fantasia. Like, baby, yeah, you gone. I'm sorry, but you gone.
Let's all pray that she's gone, man. The last thing the streets need is Alicia on them. That's the last thing we need.
Miss Herrera, stop. Miss Herrera, stop. I didn't ask you to talk. Yeah, you do. You do. Stop. Miss Herrera, you need to stop right now. Because you know what? You've been making faces throughout this entire trial. This entire trial. Yeah, you have been. And everything's been caught on video.
I know. And I also hope that the court has caught and noticed all of the gestures and the tone which was addressed yesterday. But it's fine. No problem. I will do my best to.
Please do your best. Yeah, and your attitude is very disrespectful. I'll note for the record. Okay, very good. You wouldn't mind moving. Bring him back in.
She's not having an attorney present.
That's correct, sir.
All right. During this interrogation, or before the interrogation started, you at no point in time told Alicia Andrews that you would keep her safe from anyone involved in this case.
Keep her safe in what way?
The co-defendants that she has, the people who were charged with killing another individual.
She didn't express to me that she was in any kind of danger, so no, we didn't have that conversation.
All right. If an individual gives you information about people who've killed people in a gang, you think that she might be in any danger?
We weren't discussing deals here.
I'm not talking about a deal.
Okay.
I'm talking about whether she might be in danger for speaking about gang members who might have been involved in the murder.
As a generality,
Generous.
if someone gave information on a gang member, could that be dangerous to their lives? I would agree to that.
All right.
I see what they're trying to do is just not going to stick, because in their defense, they could easily say, well, if she would have gave us information, we would have protected her. But she didn't give us anything, so we didn't protect her, and we didn't talk about a deal. We never offered her a deal because she never cooperated.
Text messages of Alicia yelling or cursing at Isaiah Chance, her former boyfriend, in an aggressive manner, and asking Detective Ramos, does it look like Miss Andrews was afraid of Isaiah Chance a week before? This is not the day of, it's the week before.
So now they're trying to use the tactic of she was afraid of Isaiah Chance. I don't think anybody in this room believes that girl right there with that damn face was scared of anybody. She definitely don't seem scared to me.
They've asked that question. So in my view, they've opened the door to any of this stuff to come in. They've made it relevant. Her state of mind, whether she was afraid of Mr. Chance. So that is one issue to decide. The second thing,
And it almost sounds like you're admitting to her knowing it. Why the fuck would she have a state of mind unless she knew that this happened? I thought the whole defense was she didn't know anything. See how stupid y'all are, you Timu fucking lawyers? This is why you pay for your damn lawyers. You just basically copped a plea. You just said, look, well, okay, the door's open now, so we don't know her state of mind. Okay, so she did know what was going on, and thank you for that. We appreciate that, Timu lawyer. Now she getting life.
is, if it is relevant, which it is, Mr. Andrews' state of mind, that evidence should not be blocked and only filtered through Ms. Andrews.
I appreciate the 20-piece. Salute, salute.
Of course, another witness cannot speak to an individual's state of mind, but they can speak to the incidents that they have been a witness to, and they can speak to the abuse that she suffered. They just cannot make the connection to say that because she was a part
But
of
if they can't make the connection, then why should they be able to testify to it? If they can't make the connection, why is it relevant? So then are you gonna stand in front of the jury and make the argument, we'll extrapolate jurors, even though we don't have any evidence in this case that she was scared, you need to extrapolate what these witnesses said, and then therefore you should assume she was scared, which is why she did all of this. Is that what you're planning on doing?
no.
Look, she just called him out. Is that what you're planning on doing? Are you finna say she did all this shit because she was scared? Is that the tactic? Do you really want to do this? See, the judge already knows. Fool, that girl is guilty as hell. The judge knows she's guilty. She ain't supposed to be biased, but this judge ain't stupid. This judge looked at the evidence and said, man, that girl guilty as shit.
And what you're describing is sort of the circumstantial evidence that the state is presenting for this entire trial, and asking the jury to make inferences and extrapolate the evidence to come to the conclusion that Ms. Andrews is guilty of these crimes.
Well, do you have any case law on point that allows you to do what you're asking to do?
That allows a witness to testify about what the witness, and I mean, the case law would be relevant.
He don't even know the case law. He can't even point to a certain case that even can back up his claims right now. Salute to Jam for that. Says she might be cooked. Thank you for the 5-piece, Jam. I appreciate you. Salute. Also, thank you, G Money, for the 20-piece. At this point, have Rain be your lawyer. Yeah, Rainwater will be a better lawyer than this Timu ass lawyer. Let Rain get in his little leprechaun suit and defend you before this shit happens. I don't know what the fuck he talking about. You just fucked up the whole case.
Charles Jones had a lot of enemies, correct?
Correct.
He talked about a lot of people
Yes.
in a lot of derogatory manners.
My understanding, yes.
He danced on people's graves.
That's what I understand, yes.
He made songs about dead people.
Okay, so you're gonna blame Foolio for what just happened to him? Listen to Timu.
A lot of enemies, correct?
Correct.
He talked about a lot of people
Yes.
in a lot of derogatory manners.
My understanding, yes.
He danced on people's graves.
That's what I understand, yes.
He made songs about dead people,
Correct.
mocked dead people,
Yes.
and millions of people saw these things online, correct?
Correct.
Alright, and so millions of people had opinions about Charles Jones, correct?
I can't speak to what everyone else felt towards Mr. Jones, only those who participated in his murder.
So you can't say whether there were people who felt certain ways about Charles Jones.
Speculation. I sustain the objection.
How the fuck is that? What does that? How is that relevant to this trial? Because the world was mad at him for standing on somebody's grave don't mean they was involved in his murder. Look, we know who was involved in it, and it wasn't the mass media. It was these motherfuckers.
So Charles Jones did all of these things, and the only thing that you can speak on is how the individuals in this case felt about him.
That's my responsibility to figure out who killed Mr. Jones. I can't speak on everyone else's idea of Mr. Jones.
All right. So you can't draw any inferences about how the people felt about Mr. Jones.
Outside of the perpetrators in this crime, I can't speak about other people.
But you can speak about the gangs, right? You've spoken about gangs that he had problems with, right?
Yes.
And other people in Jacksonville he had problems with, right?
Yes.
And that those people didn't like him as well?
Yes.
All right.
Man, this dude, they say he went to the Timu Law School. This dude, man, I swear, bro, I would fire him on the spot. I would say, Judge, we need a retrial because I'm firing. I don't want him representing me anymore. I want him fired. I would have fired him during trial. Fuck that, Judge. I'm sorry. I have a right to fire today. I don't want him representing me. He fucked up my whole case.
This also seems to be taking a page out of.
Is the defense insinuating that Robert Howard, Kenny Caps, is involved in the plot to unalive Foolio? If he's involved, how will that help Alicia?
The book of a lot of y'all on social media because they are bringing up Robert Howard. And now we know that they are bringing up Robert Howard because I guess they're trying to insert him as another co-conspirator that wasn't investigated. Attorney McLyman asks Detective Ramos if he investigated Robert Howard's phone because at some point Robert Howard used to communicate with Isaiah Chance. I'm listening and the only thing that I can think, they're feeling like Robert Howard is somehow involved in this plot to unalive Foolio. My only question is, if Robert Howard was involved, what does that do for your client? The same with Aaliyah. If Aaliyah was involved, what does that do for your client? I don't know. I can't wait till they get Robert Howard on the stand so it can make sense for me. But they are definitely insinuating that Robert Howard is somehow connected to Isaiah Chance or could have had part in this plot, especially since Robert was in one car, but he wasn't with Julio when the unaliving took place. Remember, he was in Armani's car, Julio's girlfriend. If you remember listening, there were a group of girls who left the Airbnb and went on to the club. And Detective Ramos does say that Robert got to teasers before Foolio got to teasers. But maybe the defense is going to bring it all together for us when they get him on the stand because he is going to testify.
Man. He will be testifying. But he did testify, and it was, I ain't gonna lie, I drew up the same conclusion when I heard him talk. I was like, this nigga set Foolio up.
All right, so we back talking about the pink bag again. The pink bag is back. The pink bag is back. Attorney McLyman asks Detective Ramos about this pink bag because, of course, it was a big thing. The state really wanted to point out that Isaiah Chance put this pink bag into the Impala before Alicia was there, but Alicia is seen carrying that pink bag to the Uber after they have committed the ambush on Julio Foolio. He asked Detective Ramos, do you know what was in the bag? And Detective Ramos says, I have no way of knowing what was exactly in that bag. Then he asks him, the rifles that were used in the assault, could they fit in the bag? Detective Ramos said, listen, I don't know the dimensions of the bag. I have no way of knowing if those rifles could have fit in the bag either. And then he asked again, are there guns and weapons in that bag? And Detective Ramos said again, I cannot answer that. He ends by saying, so you don't know what was in the pink bag? And Detective Ramos says, no, the state didn't go into detail. The state never said there were weapons in the bag, but they did try to allude to that, right? They want us to know they were packing that Impala for hours, it seems. So what was in these bags? All we can do is assume by what was going on, the amount of ammunition and weapons that Sean had in his home, they had to be weapons or ammunition. But again, there's no way for us to know for sure what was in the bags. And I think the defense just wanted to point out, yes, she was carrying the bags, but it could have been weapons, it could have been guns, or it could have just been clothes. We just don't know.
Man. What the fuck was in the bag, gang? What's in the fucking bag? Let's go.
Alicia's phone sending a live location to Sean's phone.
This is minutes before the murder. Her phone is sending a live location to another shooter's phone.
It's approximately 15 minutes before the shots are fired.
But you were at the hotel where Julio was murdered at the exact same time. No, listen, this is a time where I had your photo. I had the beef between your boyfriend and his people, and you don't have to play dumb with me at all. This is high definition footage, okay? You're there, you're there.
I caught you in 4K.
I can tell you right now, with the statement you're giving us, you're going to be in prison. You're never going to come out of it. You're never going to see the outside of prison. We all in this room know that you're lying. We have evidence.
Day 6 of the Foolio murder trial was the worst one for Alicia so far. Her interrogation footage with the detectives puts the nail in her coffin. The jury sees over an hour of interrogation footage, and she's called out for lying 50 times. This is by far the worst day for her defense. She is just so cooked.
This should have been handled before trial. Because the only way for me to really know is if I watch the whole video. And I'm not going to, in the middle of trial, take time out and watch an over an hour long video of the defendant's interrogation. So I'm flying blind here, relatively speaking. So there's no way for me to know if, in fact, the statements that the detective made are, in fact, relevant to any potential impeachment or issue. And I just want to clarify, make sure for the record, Mr. McClyman, you're not claiming that these statements made by Detective Ramos have to go to the voluntariness of your client's statement, or are you?
Not that the statements are involuntary, they invoke certain responses from Ms. Andrews. It's not that.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not talking about voluntariness. We're simply discussing context, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so then that's where the rule of completeness comes in.
Not the defendant's statements, but the detective's statements to her about completely irrelevant matters that are not only irrelevant to this proceeding, but would be misleading and confusing to the jury. Specifically, he is telling her, you are going to receive a life sentence if you don't tell us what happened, if you don't give us your version, if you were dragged into this gangland war by Mr. Chance or others, you need to tell us now. You're looking at life. And he doesn't just tell her you're looking at life. He fleshes it out in long narratives where he talks about the implications of life. Her life in the prison. That's going to be her nursing home. That she's going to be woke up every morning and told what to do, what to eat, where to go. He talks to her about the fact that she'll be walked out to a yard where it's surrounded by high walls. Then he proceeds to tell her all of the things that she will miss. She'll miss Thanksgiving dinner with her parents. She'll miss all the things that other people have in their lives, while the co-defendants may be out running around living the high life. And also supports where normally jurors never know what the potential sentence is. And nothing's like this. Excuse me, counsel, I'd like to finish my argument.
Things are already feisty. He said, excuse me, I'd like to finish my argument. It's crazy the defense wants this in to show the jury that this girl's going to be cooked, fried, and this detective is like, we know you did it. We know you killed Foolio.
Basically, what we would be doing is putting before the jury something that they shouldn't be hearing, and then trying to cure the instruction instead of just excluding it. What her potential sentence is and what the ramifications of that potential sentence are irrelevant to these proceedings. If the jury is potentially going to give you any benefit or any kind of mercy, you need to tell us the truth, or they're going to see this. They're going to see what you didn't tell us. They're going to see all these things that you didn't say to us.
Silence from her, so she obviously doesn't snitch. She probably barely speaks in this interview. It's going to be all the detective just hounding her, trying to get her to switch up and snitch on them. Because that's really the only way she got out of this, was to snitch, testify in their trials, and get 20 years or something.
But this is what I understand. So that only comes in, because these are all hearsay statements by the detective, okay? So anything that she says after that, what is the relevance and why is it admissible? So she's not making admissions, then it's hearsay. Anything she's saying is hearsay. Failing to see why, if she doesn't say anything that the state's intending to introduce after the detective makes those representations to her, then why are we showing it at all to the jury?
At this point, she's lying, right? And they're going to present to the jury that she lied about X, Y, Z things throughout the interview. So that all those things are against her interest.
Half of you aren't subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe.
I'm gonna be real. I don't know why they used the interrogation, because it didn't help them out at all. She didn't say shit in the interrogation. It really helped her credit out at all. Shit, she didn't fold. I don't know why they used it.
Your communications with Isaiah Chance and Rashad Murphy, and you said that they were friendly.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are testifying that you would be friendly with them on the outside, so not on the telephone. You would go out with them to a club and that be posted everywhere?
No, ma'am.
When you say friendly, why don't you explain to me what you actually mean by that?
Just conversation. We're not yelling, we're not arguing, we're just talking.
What's the goal of you having a long, hours-long conversation with Isaiah Chance?
Got quiet.
Trying to say how to word it.
When you say friendly, why don't you explain to me what you actually mean by that?
This is Kenny Capshaw.
Conversation. We're not yelling, we're not arguing, we're just talking.
He was talking to Isaiah
What's the goal of you having a
Chance.
long, hours-long conversation with Isaiah Chance?
Him and Isaiah Chance.
Trying to say how to word it. Let's see what you know. See the learn his thoughts.
Your intent on talking to Isaiah Chance or anybody that is an op or from the opposite side of your group, whatever group you want to call it, gang, not gang, whatever you want to call it, your goal is to catch them slipping, to catch them doing something wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to know more information about your ops than they know about you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Isaiah Chance calling you from different numbers all the time a part of what you would employ yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you call from your own number every single time you talk to him? Would that be smart?
No, ma'am.
What the fuck? So you and this dude talking on random numbers, y'all didn't want to be linked to each other. Hey, we need 13 people to double tap that screen to get the likes to 600. We also are $25 away from $200 tonight, man. We 25 away. So if you want to support the channel, support. If not, just double tap that screen. But yeah, this is getting weird. Kenny Caps, I believe, set up Foolio, dog. I believe he did.
Alicia Andrews gave 2 reasons for wearing a mask that night. 1, because of her pregnancy. 2, to avoid smoke in clubs. But detectives had video from 2 strip clubs, Teasers and Truth 18, and Andrews never entered either one. She said the entry fee at Teasers was too high, but the video showed her never even approaching the bouncer. At Truth 18, she claimed her boyfriend didn't like crowds. Again, no contact with any staff, no attempt to get in. It was all lies. Detective Ramos testified, "I wanted her to see the whole puzzle," he said, because what she chose to say next could seal her fate. Ramos began by showing her ring camera footage from the Tampa Airbnb. Andrews confirmed it was her. Next came video from the McDonald's drive-thru. At the window, co-defendant Davin Murphy, smoking a Black and Mild. But when asked who drove, Andrews wouldn't name them. Investigators also confronted her with photos of Sean Gathright, another alleged player in this deadly scheme. She denied knowing him. But she arrived in Tampa with Isaiah Chance, her boyfriend, and an unnamed little brother. That third man? Never identified. Yet surveillance showed Andrews leaving Jacksonville in a black Impala from Gathwright's home, riding all the way to Tampa. In one video frame, Chance is seen holding what looks like a pistol with an extended magazine. More bullets, more damage. Detectives showed her phone, mapping data, piecing together every movement. Then they brought up the victim, Julio Foolio. Did she know him? No. Gang affiliations? No clue. Even when questioned about her boyfriend's nickname, she claimed, "That's not what I call him." But she bore his name permanently inked into her skin.
It's kind of weird that, I don't know, man. I don't know. Can she beat this damn case?
Isaiah Chance posted a photo, a tribute to a dead friend, with a ghost emoji masking his own face. Less than 2 hours after the Foolio's murder, it wasn't grief. It was mockery. Moments later, a second post. It showed NFL coach Bill Belichick, captioned only with an emoji, hands raised in victory. Investigators subpoenaed Instagram records and made a stunning discovery. Fellow suspect Rashad Murphy, another alleged gang affiliate, posted a black screen with crying, laughing emojis at 5 a.m., less than 20 minutes after the shooting. That same morning, he posted a Tom Brady victory celebration. And by that afternoon, he'd uploaded another cryptic post. Prosper Jr., G-Day today, 187 babies. That number, it's police code for murder. The digital trail didn't end there. Murphy's Instagram search history showed him looking up Julio Foolio's account multiple times, before and after the killing. He even searched Art of War, quotes, and accounts tied to rival gang members like Spinabens and Jungian Ace, adding layers to what prosecutors call a gang-motivated assassination. But perhaps the most haunting were the messages of Alicia Andrews, another defendant. In private Instagram DMs, she confessed delays in getting her phone because she feared police sitting around. She even joked LMAO, he jumping so hard, referring to someone panicking while knowing detectives were closing in. Her account posted a Pandora bracelet ad just hours after the murder, a chilling normalcy in the shadow of bloodshed. And when police came looking, her friend Tarnisha messaged, "Police here looking for you." Her response, "Where they at now?" One final post from Murphy sealed the mood. The U.S. Marine Rifleman's Creed, followed by a song from a rival rapper called Psyching Out. He wasn't hiding, he was boasting.
Shit, man, these dudes got caught up in every fucking way. But Alicia is the key to the case.
"You think Zay loves you?" Detective asked Alicia Andrews. "He used you. Now you'll go down before he does." In a tense, hours-long interrogation, Alicia sat face-to-face with Tampa detectives. They issued warnings. "This isn't TV," one said. "This is real life." They told her she'd never leave prison if she didn't cooperate, that her baby would grow up without her, that she'd watched the murder unfold from the front seat and had become an accomplice just by being there. They had it all: license plate readers showing her traveling in tandem with the shooter's car, surveillance footage placing her outside the club, cell tower pings confirming she was at the hotel at the exact time Foolio was killed, and they said she opened the front door to the Airbnb, alone. But Alicia wouldn't budge. "I didn't know," she kept saying. "I don't remember." Even when confronted with her own messages. Booking the trip, following Zay, her boyfriend and alleged ringleader, every step of the way, she stayed silent. The evidence was overwhelming. She was with Zay at every location. Her phone unlocked footage, GPS logs, and Instagram DMs. Investigators even claimed she helped the crew get into the Airbnb through the back door. She wore a mask in the club parking lot, and while she denied knowing Rashad, she had messaged his girlfriend to help book the trip. "I'm a week away from reading every text you ever sent," the detective warned, "and you're going to be the first one charged." Still, Alicia insisted she was on the sidelines, that she just followed, that she didn't hear or see anything, but the room around her was closing in fast. "You're in the front seat while he's using your phone. You didn't hear what he said?" they pressed. "That's not how juries think." They compared her to another woman, Diamond, who helped set up a gangland killing and got 20 years, even though she wasn't at the scene. "She just sent a few messages," they said, "and now she's in prison. Forever." Then they showed her pictures of Zay, his brother, and the others. "These are the men you're going to throw your life away for?" And Alicia, she sat frozen, silent, staring at the photos. "They're all going down," the detective whispered. "But you go first."
Man. They laid it out nice and smooth for Alicia ass. We not done. Let's continue.
Now it's at this point that it's very evident that the state said, "Let's fight." Because the state is starting to swing back on a lot of things. There are a lot of questions that have seemingly gone unanswered after cross-examination. Now, the first thing they do is enter the call detail records for Aaliyah Albritton. Now, we know that in a lot of these cross-examinations, they've been asking about Aaliyah's affiliation with Young and Ace's brother that passed away, how she was his girlfriend, and how she conveniently was in the hotel when all of this popped off. But defense, Ramos is saying, we already checked all her records and there is zero communication between her and any of the defendants. He also said he checked the call detail records, but he couldn't remember the complete list of others from Julio's side, just in case there was some kind of inside man. And none of them had any numbers of substance that were pinging back and forth with any of the other co-defendants. He also said, unlike they like to say, we have been checking for DNA and fingerprints, and we either found what we should have found or didn't find nothing at all. He also closes the circle on Taifa and says, hey, yes, he had poppers on him. He had one on his person. He had one in the car, and it was a 40. And nobody said nothing about a 40 cal. Now, with that, the state finally says, no further question. 2 damn days of Ramos. 2 days almost of straight up direct and a constant replay of everything we've already heard with some extra. Now, at this point, it's like, we've been waiting all day, come on for cross-examination. They said, can we get a sidebar? Now, after the sidebar, the judge said, listen, I got some good news, some bad news, and some news. Good news is we're going to let you go a little early today so you can go home and get rest. A little bit of bad news, instead of starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, we'll be here at 8:30. But the other news is, I'm telling you, I'm going to have this case in your hands by the end of the week. So go home early today, be back early tomorrow, and understand this case is yours before the week is out. Now, I do understand, and I do think that that's a great thing that they are going to give the jury a little bit of a chance to kind of rest and come back refreshed, because there's no way I would want to put on a fresh case and everybody's sick of sitting. and not first case, but a first cross. But that also means that the judge is probably going to want the entire case for them all day tomorrow so they can finish their cross-examination. Maybe the state is going to be getting ready to rest. And then, of course, they sent Robert Howard back to lockup, but they are going to be transporting him first thing in the morning. So we should be hearing from a couple people, including Kenny Capps, Robert Howard, who was in the car with Monty and Miss Randolph tomorrow with the state's case. I'm sorry, with the defense's case. So in the meantime, in between time, that's why I'm getting all my recaps done early. I'm going to go and attend my first girl dinner AZ Halloween.
So what y'all think, man? I don't know. I think Kenny Capps put himself in the crossfire. I think he admitted that he set up Foolio.
Miss Herrera, stop. Miss Herrera, stop. I didn't ask you to talk. Yeah, you do. You do. Stop, Miss Herrera, you need to stop right now, because you know what? You've been making faces throughout this entire trial. This entire trial, yeah, you have been. And everything's been caught on video.
I know, and I also hope that the court has caught and noticed all of the gestures and the tone which was addressed yesterday to the state. But it's fine, no problem, I will do my best to.
Please, do your best. Yeah, and your attitude is very disrespectful. I'll note for the record. Okay, very good. You wouldn't mind moving. Bring him back in.
Yeah, that judge not playing with her ass. That judge done playing games. You see how she looked at her ass at the end? Look, that judge done playing fucking games. She said, I'm done fucking playing. Y'all up in there playing with my time, man. That judge is sick of this. She's sick of this damn case.
Did you have any fears or caution about hanging out with Charles Jones?
No, sir.
At any point in the night, did you ever get upset with him about posting his locations?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Cause we're both two known individuals. You know, we got people that love us, people who hate us. So.
Okay. And I guess would you prefer that your locations be anonymous?
Yes, sir.
Why do people hate you all? Not to say that everyone does, but why are there people that have that feeling?
Jasmine was bit with drill rap. Foolio's a drill rapper, so.
Man. I don't know. Do y'all trust Kenny Capps? Let me know in the chat if y'all trust him. I don't, but let me know if y'all do.
I don't think I've made a video speaking about Young and Ace yet. But if I were Young and Ace, I would be hiring my attorneys like yesterday. I don't know what Florida's like because I don't live there. But if Florida is anything like that district attorney in Fulton County, a RICO is probably brewing. The way that both the defense attorneys and the prosecutors consistently bring up his name, it's been the prominent member of ATK. It's been the person who had this public beef with Julio. It's been the person who made a song less than 48 hours after he was unalived, and not only made a song, had intricate details about the unaliving in the song. If they have not done it yet, they are probably looking to get him in a RICO or conspiracy at the least. I mean, they keep saying his name. They ask everyone about Young and Ace. It's not a game out here.
Have y'all noticed something? ATK this time around has been completely silent. Kesey ain't trolling no more. Ace ain't trolling no more. None of these niggas is on the internet no more. Where is Sosa? Where is Tay Shots? Where is ATK? GMK, ain't none of them said a damn word ever since Queso got locked up. Ever since Queso got found guilty. Nobody has said shit. They all crying on the internet.
Now, an interesting exchange happened in court this morning. The jury was sent out for a break, and the judge addressed an issue she's been having with the defense counsel throughout this case. Take a look.
Miss Herrera, stop. Miss Herrera, stop. I didn't ask you to talk.
I didn't know how to talk.
Yeah, you do. You do. Stop, Miss Ferrer, you need to stop right now, because you know what? You've been making faces throughout this entire trial. This entire trial, yeah, you have been. And everything's been caught on video.
I know, and
And-
also
and-
hope that the court has caught and noticed all of the gestures and the tone which was addressed yesterday previously. But it's fine, no problem, I will do my best to.
Please, do your best. Yeah, and your attitude is very disrespectful. I'll note for the record. Okay, very good.
Laws came out just for a bit of a moment, but put away. We're going to continue the trial. As we mentioned, the defense has started. We'll continue to give you the updates out of that trial throughout the day.
Yeah, that judge, she not finna keep playing with y'all on this internet. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now.
Robert Howard just finished testifying, and I have a lot of notes from his testimony, but something that stuck out to me was the fact that he was friendly enough or had been in communication with Zay and both of the Murphys. I remember hearing Gino say that he followed Zay on social media and that they'd spoken before. So my thought was, well, if he would have seen Zay out there in Tampa, then that would have alerted him that something was up. Well, let's take that a step further, because Robert Howard had been in communications with Zay. He testified that they would talk on the phone for long periods of time. They follow each other on social media. And if he would have seen Zay in Tampa, he would have known something was up. He said he would have alerted everyone else that he was with, Foolio, everyone, if he saw Zay, if he saw Alicia in that parking lot, which is why they had on masks. So now we got both Gino and Robert testifying that they're alert. They would have been on alert had they seen Zay or Alicia in that parking lot. Alicia having on the mask makes more sense after Robert's testimony because he knew who she was. He knew she was from Jacksonville, and 9 times out of 10, he knew that was their girlfriend. He said she was pretty popular, so he would have wondered what the hell that girl doing in Tampa. And what's even crazier, he said that Zay messaged him before they went to Tampa, maybe about 3 days or so, and told him to, he said, be on beat down there, as if he was trying to be cordial. Like, oh my God, in hindsight, that was a warning. That was a warning. Be careful, because we coming this weekend. It's crazy.
But why would they warn you? Why would you not warn Foolio? Hey, fam, these niggas from Jacksonville hitting me up, fam. Y'all set them up.
I'm just thinking, y'all, Alicia wearing that mask, she knew those people would know her too. That it's not just Zay making her do it. She had to be disguised with him because she was well known amongst their age group in Jacksonville. I still, for the life of me, can't understand why the defense put Robert up on that stand. He also said if he saw the Murphys out there in Jacksonville, he would have known something was up too.
But all y'all friends with these same fucking people, which makes no damn sense. Makes no damn sense.
The defense moves for its first motion for judgment of acquittal, recognizing that the standard at this stage of the case is that all of the evidence is held in the light most favorable to the state. The state does have to prove a final picture case in this case. All the evidence of the 2 charges, which are first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. In this case, Alicia Andrews is not charged as a shooter. She's charged by indictment as a principal to the murder of Carl Jones. The state presents a circumstantial case here. Circumstantial claims against Ms. Andrews to prove first-degree murder charges against her as a principal. Ultimately, the evidence that was presented shows nothing about Alicia Andrews intending or knowing that the individuals who ended up shooting and killing Mr. Charles Jones or the individuals that planned it. There's no evidence that shows that she knew that was going to happen, that she planned it with these individuals, that she discussed it with these individuals. There is only circumstantial evidence that has her at or around the scene, only circumstantial evidence that has her at or around people who are making phone calls to other people at times that don't connect, at times that the state is assuming there were connected calls and there were conversations being had back and forth with individuals with our co-defendants. In Staten versus State 5/19 Southern 2nd, this is 622 at 624. It's a Florida Supreme Court case from 1988. The Florida Supreme Court acknowledged the general rule that in order to be convicted as a principal for a crime physically committed by another, one must intend that the crime be committed and do some act to assist the other person in actually committing the crime. See also the Florida statute 777.011 and Collins versus State 438 Southern 2nd 1036. This is the second issue of the case from 1982. The Staten court noted that neither knowledge that the offense was being committed, nor mere presence at the scene, nor a display of questionable behavior after the fact is equivalent to participation with criminal intent. And that's at 624, page 624 of the Staten case. It is, in the defense's view, undisputed that the state does not have any direct evidence that Ms. Andrews knew of her co-defendant's plans. It's also undisputed that the state does not have any direct evidence that Ms. Andrews agreed to cooperate with the efforts to kill Charles Jones.
So this Timu ass lawyer is doing his damnedest to convince everybody that she didn't know anything, she didn't play any parts. I'm gonna be real. You would have had a better chance representing yourself, like that crazy ass dude said, I ain't gonna come in here and play with y'all today. You had a better chance of doing that shit, Alicia. I ain't gonna lie. You had a better chance of just getting up there saying, I ain't finna play with y'all in this courtroom. I'm innocent. You should have just did that shit. I mean, you had a better chance than going to war with this motherfucker. This nigga right here, I'm talking about. What is that motherfucker? Remember that show on BET called The Game? Darwin, what's the nigga name? Darwin or something? I can't remember. I think it was Darwin or something. That is Darwin looking ass nigga. Hell no. I would not let this dude represent me. Ain't no way in fucking hell. I think his name, what is his name? Darwin? Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. If not, y'all know who I'm talking about on that damn show, The Game. But where the fuck is TT? Let's talk about it, gang. Where the fuck is TT? In other news for you guys, I got some other news for y'all real quick too. By the way, if y'all were waiting, let's get Timu off the screen. If y'all were waiting on this, we just dropped for all the ratchets, y'all just dropped on all streaming platforms. If y'all were waiting on it, it dropped early. We got it early for y'all, so it's on every streaming platform. It's out right now. So make sure y'all go to sleep listening to Ratchet TV tonight. Just go type in Ratchet TV on any streaming platform. And the album is up, man. The album is ready. So hopefully y'all go tune in to the album and y'all enjoy the motherfucking album. We'll do our album release tomorrow. But y'all make sure, you know, I got to plug myself and y'all make sure to go jam that for all the ratchets, man. That's for y'all, man. I did that for y'all. So salute to the gang, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. Yeah, y'all go jam my album, man. Y'all. Oops, I put myself on mute. Yeah. Y'all make sure to jam that damn album. Y'all make sure to tune in to the album, man. With that being said, we're going to definitely be covering this tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I will be doing a live. I know we're going to do our Halloween thing, but I got content because I expect her to be, I expect her verdict to be in tomorrow. So we will be live tomorrow doing her verdict. And we will do content on the Julio Foolio case tomorrow as well. So y'all stay tuned. We will be here tomorrow night. Ratchet Gang, get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's content. Let me know what y'all thought about the live. Make sure y'all double tap the screen on your way out of here. We finna get ready to go, man. Go jam the album, and we're going to jam it together tomorrow. But make sure y'all go jam the album, and then let me know how y'all felt about it, man. I want to know exactly how y'all felt about the album. So definitely go jam for all the ratchets. Just type in Ratchet TV on any streaming platform. The album won't pull up Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever you got. Just type in Ratchet TV. And go jam the album. Hey, ladies, I know y'all finna go to sleep jamming that Ratchet TV tonight. So I'm going to let y'all get up off here and go do y'all thing. Salute to all my moderators. Salute to all the green team. Salute to everybody who donated to the channel. I appreciate all y'all. I love y'all more than y'all will ever know. Long live Foolio. We will be live during the verdict tomorrow, so be on the lookout. I will be on live when the verdict comes in tomorrow, so we definitely gonna talk about it. I know the verdict is gonna come in. I know it's not gonna take them. They're not gonna go into the weekend with this case. I don't think so. I think the verdict will be in. I think they're gonna go up until lunch, give the case to the jurors, and then it'll be done by the end of that day. But we gonna be around to talk about it. So salute to all the chat, man. I love y'all more than y'all will ever know. It's your boy Big Ratchet. That's Ratchet Gang, and this is Ratchet TV. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hey man, until tomorrow night, I'm out, gang. I love y'all more than y'all will ever know. Go jam my album, man. Run them streams. We did 14,000 streams this week, so keep it going, man. Keep it going. Jump them streams. If the album dropped now, so the stream should go crazy. Y'all better have my shit on repeat. I love y'all, man. Hey, get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all favorite track was, too. I love y'all, man. I'm gone, gang. Go jam my album, man. For all the Ratchets by RatchetTV, I'm gone. Salute.